Welcome, everybody. Welcome. This is the Perfect Timing Podcast. Brand new, just for you. Perfect Timing Podcast, back with the blast, in and out with a dash. 2026, here he is in the mix. 2026, let's get started. A lot of announcements, a lot going on today. Make sure you come on in. Let's have a good time. While the world is distracted, distracted by the meme war in Iran, the DHS shutdown has just hit a massive breaking point here at home. We are on day 26 of the shutdown. TSA lines have officially hit 5 hours, and there is coordinated move to dismantle ICE that no one is talking about. Today, we are connecting the dots between global misinformation and domestic collapse happening at our own borders. Again, Perfect Timing Podcast. What we talking about today is we got a couple of new videos that we have up. We got a brand new video where I break down Black content creators' reaction or non-reaction to the Iran conflict. I need everybody right now. Go check out that video. It's up right now on my channel. Everybody that's like, share, and subscribe, make sure you go check out the brand new video. And tomorrow, we got brand new videos dropping at 9 o'clock in the morning. So hit the notification bell. Make sure you hit the notification bell. So listen to everybody. I'm directing everybody right now. Go watch our brand new video. We just dropped at 1 o'clock today. If you want, we can review the video today. I think that might be fun. Let's bring up the video that I dropped today at 1 o'clock, or we could just talk about it. We'll go over it because I want you guys to go watch. And then I got another video coming out tomorrow at 9 o'clock in the morning, and I need you guys to go watch that too. So make sure you got the like and the share and the notification bell on. Today, I want to direct you guys to the community post. Make sure you got the community post. Make sure you getting all those community posts. You know what I'm saying? Everybody in the building, come on in right now. Double tap, hit the like button. Trump knows, giving Democrats the boo blues. Giving Democrats the boo blues. Latest news is the meme war and the ICE cuts. What's the meme war? I guess Iran put out some video that said that Iran put out a video that said Black Americans is okay. Black Americans don't need to worry about anything that's going on in Iran. So I saw a lot of Black American content creators making videos responding to Iran. I don't know why they felt comfortable doing so. Kind of got me a little frustrated. If you want to see me crash out, if you want to see me in my feelings, go watch the video right now. I have a video up right now, me reacting to all the Black content creators making a meme out of the war. I don't think it's a meme. I don't think it's funny, but for some reason, Iran is very popular and good at putting out propaganda. Since I started my Iran coverage, I've been counter-narrative, and I've spoken to you about, isn't it ironic, this ideology that exists in America where we have been empathetic since Gaza attacked Israel. And let's just be clear. Gaza did attack Israel. I know it's not popular to say the truth, but Gaza attacked Israel. And ever since Gaza attacked Israel, there's been these protests that have broken out on American college campuses, and we never understood what was behind them. Now, Trump did say that this is paid by the opposition. Nobody listened because everybody is TDS and they hate Trump. But come to find out, now we have Iran. Now we're in a conflict with Iran, and now here it is, Iran puts out more propaganda. Just like I believe this is how you got empathy for Gaza. This is how you got people that hate Israel. It was Iranian propaganda. Number one, I said Iranians are white. Persian Iranians are more like Europeans. They're not African. They're not black. They're not like you. They're not Arabic. None of that shit. I don't know why black Americans think they want to empathize. Secondly, what I've been teaching is the difference between Shia and Sunni. So Iranian Persians are more white than anything else, and they're also Shia Muslim, which means they don't like you black Americans on multiple levels, So for black Americans to come out and buy into this Iranian propaganda solely so they can say and make a joke out of being anti-American and anti-president. This is what I had a problem with. This is what we're talking about, the meme war, right? Because this war is being fought on multiple levels. This war is not only being fought on the ground, in the air with missiles and drones, it's also being fought digitally. You and I are involved in this conflict, this Iranian war. We just today you have Joe Biden going viral for his bumbling efforts in the 20-year Afghanistan war. How many times have I talked to you about the Afghanistan war, giving you a foundation to the Iranian war? Joe Biden fumbling and leaving Afghanistan, right? What did I say? What led to October 7th? What led to right now in Iran? See, Iran creating propaganda, telling black Americans, don't worry. You know what I said in my video? I need you to go watch right now. I said, what part of Iran? What part of Iran, black America, what part of Iran do you not need to worry about? Since you're taking in the propaganda, since you eating up everything this is what I ask. If you don't know the difference between Shia and Sunni, or right now the Kurds who are operating as American proxies, right now the Kurds are bombing Iran. They are Iranian Kurdish. So there are many different sects that exist in Iran, right? And they're opposing political sects, right? That's how the Ayatollah Khomeini came to power in 1979. So when who made the video, black Americans? Who is telling you okay? And what makes it okay for you to be anti-American? That's all I want to know. To the ignorant black Americans who thought it was funny to respond to Iranian propaganda and say, we love Iran and we empathize with Iran. Which part of Iran gave you the pass? That's what we want to know this morning. Black America, which part of Iran gave you the pass? Which part of Iran gave you the pass? Which part of Iran gave you the pass? That's all I want to know. And the war is being fought on the ground. We have the Kurds. Like I said, this is what's happening with the propaganda. You got to come here. You got to subscribe here. You got to watch this channel. We actually are having on the ground because the Kurds, who are the American proxies, who happen to be Iranian, are shooting missiles at the Shia, and they're on the ground right now. I talked to you the other day about ground troops. I asked the question, can we do regime change in Iran without troops on the ground? This is a very good question. Can you do regime change by air? Donald Trump even spoke to this the other day on Air Force One. When he was asked about ground troops, he said, I can't tell you and I won't answer the question, but it's actually a very good question. It's actually a very good question because it speaks to our goals in Iran. And this is what the American people, that's why I say this war is being fought on many fronts. It's not just being fought on the political front, right, with the DHS being shut down. You think the Democrats don't know what they're doing by shutting down Homeland Security, doing war efforts? Yes, the Democrats know what they're doing. So we're fighting on a political front. For all of the dodos, dingbats, and dum-dums, we're fighting on a political front, right, with the Democrats shutting down the government, not paying the TSA, not paying the Coast Guard, not paying FEMA during war efforts. We're fighting on a political front. We're fighting because I told you that we strategically in 4D chess moved an armada outside of Iran. Number one, if you haven't watched my show, double tap, hit the like button and subscribe. It's the #1 show on YouTube for geopolitical and political debate. Right now, you're having a live stream every day, Monday through Friday. We do live streams between 1 to 3 to 4 p.m. during our live streams, we break down Trump news, Trump news, Trump news, giving Democrats the boo-hoo blues, giving Democrats the boo-hoo blues. That's what we do, man. MAGA knew the climate. Hashtag MAGA knew the climate. Double tap, hit the like button, man. Double tap, hit the like button. Buying. Imagine that. Somebody in the chat said, imagine being black. What is black to you? What does black mean to you, sir? To the trolls in the chat, what does black mean to you? Huh? I would love to hear some intelligence from one of you ignorant dum-dums and dingbats, but they don't have it. They don't have it. That's why they joking. That's why they joking online saying, Iran, we cool. Iran made a video saying black Americans are cool. What do you mean black Americans are cool? What do you mean Iran made a video? What part of Iran? Is it the Iranians that are in charge, the Shia Irans, the Shia Muslims? Is it the Shah of Iran? Because they want to bring the Shah back. The Shah currently is living in America, and there are people who are that to let you know how political this thing is. Just so everybody making videos, everybody's having a comment, don't know what the hell they're talking about. The Shah is in America. The Shah who was in power before Ayatollah Khomeini in 1979. They're talking about bringing the Shah back. I asked the question. Can you do regime change from the air? As Black America says, Iran said we're cool. Can you do regime change in Black America? Black America, a purple-haired protester, white female Karen America. I would just like to ask you one question. Do IEDs, do TATP have racial nanobots? Are they that technically proficient? Because when in New York, where multiple IEDs were thrown at a crowd who were pro-American, there were many races of people in that crowd. I'm just wondering, when they said Iran is cool with us, so when Iran awakened sleeper cells in America, I have a news post I'm going to show today. Well, Iran has awoken sleeper cells, and in the West Coast, FBI has sent out warnings on the West Coast. Did anybody know about this? This is breaking news. Double tap. This is breaking news. The FBI has sent out warnings for the West Coast that Iran has awoken sleeper cells in America. I'm going to say it one more time, because I know I talk real fast, and I'm very excited. I'm very, I'm good at my job. Can we just say that? I'm good at my job. Let's get into it, man. I said, I'm wondering, for all the Black Americans, double tap, hit the like button. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, hit the plus sign when you subscribe, become a member. Right now, I have a video up on my chat discussing all of the Black content creators who reacted to an Iranian propaganda video saying that Black Americans wouldn't be harmed by Iran, correct? So I'm asking Black Americans who, right? And I'm asking, is it the Shia Muslims who made the video? Is it the Sunni Muslims who made the video? Is it the people who support the Shah? Is it the Kurds? Are the Black American content creators familiar with all of the different sects that exist? And is it Hezbollah who made? Is Hezbollah? Is it Hamas? Is it the Houthis? Tell me, Bahrain. Tell me, Black America. Do you happen to know who gave you this pass? I also want to ask Black America, as they're making jokes, because all the Black content creators are making jokes online about this conflict like it's not going to show up at your. See, this is the thing about 2026 and all of our young people. It's not just Black America. I'm focusing on these Black content creators because they thought this was cavalier and they thought it was funny. Right now, the FBI has the West Coast on alert. The FBI does not have only white people on the West Coast on alert. Just to show how asinine some of these content creators can be. The FBI, I'm going to show the report, but the FBI didn't say only white Americans need to be worried on the West Coast, right? When we had two Muslims arrested yelling Allah Akbar, they threw IEDs at a crowd. When they threw them at the crowd, all they knew is that they were Americans. They didn't care whether they were white or Black Americans. I need to say this. I need to dispel all of the ignorance because it's not just my video. I know more than me have came onto the internet today and saw a bunch of videos from black content creators being very cavalier and joking about the Iran conflict. In bed, wearing bonnets, not at work, not serious, making jokes about the Iran conflict. Have you seen those videos? There are a bunch of them. It's going viral. It's a viral trend right now, talking about how black people are anti-president, anti-American, and they are sympathizing with Iran, and Iran made a video. Iran made a propaganda video telling black Americans, you're okay. And black Americans' response, the content creators that's going viral right now, are saying it's a joke. Iran, we cool. Iran, we cool. That's what black content creators are saying in America right now. Iran, we cool. So the question is, what part of Iran is cool with you? For the black content creators who are making these ignorant videos, what part of Iran is cool with you? What? Is it the Shia? Is it the Sunni? Is it the Ayatollah Khomeini sector? Is it the Shah? Is it the Kurds? Because the Kurds are on our side. The Kurds are launching missiles at the Shia regime. Did you know that? Iranian Kurds are launching missiles and on the ground forces. Iranian Kurds have, so when Iranians said, who is it, black content creator? See, this is the problem with the propaganda and the ignorance and being TDS syndrome. When they jokingly guide you into being anti-American and anti-president. See, we love Donald Trump. We love President Trump, we love America, and we truly understand what's happening in Iran. We would never make such an ignorant video here. We would never make such an ignorant video here. See, we love our president, we love Trump, and we understand what people are finally saying. See, a lot of the YouTube content creators have been ahead of the ball. One of the things I love to say is MAGA knows the climate. So a lot of us understood what was happening when we went to Venezuela. Here in my chat, we discussed how Marco Rubio basically negotiated a surrender with Maduro. Because me and my chat discussed, why did Maduro and his wife come off the plane? Why was Maduro handcuffed in front of him? Why was Maduro and his wife looking so good? His clothes were pressed. His wife had star celebrity makeup coming down that park walk. We understood that Marco Rubio, possibly 2028 presidential candidate, was the one who negotiated back channel messages with Maduro. And that's why you heard on the media, number one, Trump doesn't have anyone on his side but us on YouTube. He had to sue CBS. He sued ABC. Y'all put it in the chat. 17 million, 16 million. The only one telling the truth about Trump is me. And people like me on YouTube. You got Savvy. You got a couple people giving up the honest truth. So Marco Rubio has been in back channel chat secretary. He's doing a great job. Marco Rubio Vance 2022. Put it in the chat. Marco Rubio Vance 2022. So Maduro left Venezuela easily with his wife because we were in back channel talks. We took over Venezuela. We shut down the oil in Venezuela. A lot of us understood that this was the first domino. A lot of us knew after October 7th, we were always going to confront Iran. Joe Biden would never do it, and Iran never would have attacked Israel if Trump was president. Double tap at the like button. Iran never would have attacked Israel if Trump were president. These are things that the black content creators just don't understand, just don't know. You have to come to my channel to understand this. You have to come to my channel to understand these things, right? Double tap at the like button. Number one channel on YouTube. Number one channel on YouTube. Again, for black Americans who believe Iran will show you favor, that is completely ignorant. It is like when they call you African American. There are 45 countries in Africa and multiple tribes. You have Bantu, you have Zulu. Do not accept the moniker African American because Africans don't go by African. They go by being Kenyan, Nigerian, from Uganda, right? South African. You are the only ones that buy into this garbage. They are Bantu. Even the Somali. Remember when I explained to you the Somali, this is the ignorance that I'm talking about. Iran made a propaganda video telling black Americans that they are okay, right? And I'm asking black Americans, who Who made the video? Who's going to tell you that you're okay? Is it the Shia that are in charge via Ayatollah Khomeini? Is it the Sunni? Is it the Hamas? Who made the video? Is it the Kurds? Because there's many different sects. Also, the FBI just said that the West Coast is on high alert because Iran has ignited sleeper cells. We saw 2 men, 18-year-olds from Philadelphia, have been arrested for throwing IEDs in New York. TATP. They threw 2 bombs, and there was a car found with more explosives in New York. Did you guys know it was 3 different devices, 3 different? So in New York, 2 Philadelphia young men were arrested. We showed the video. They yelled, Allah Akbar. Allah Akbar. The man in the green hoodie gave the guy with the bun on his head the bomb. He had already thrown 1 bomb. We didn't know when we watched the video that they had thrown 2 different bombs. They got arrested. They've been charged as ISIS terrorists. Now, what you may not have known is also in New York, down the street, after interrogating these 2 men, they found a car full of more explosive. Can you guys tell me how many people could have been unalived by these 2 18-year-old men who are sympathetic, like Black Americans think it's funny? Black Americans think it's fun. Black American content creators are hee ha ha. Iran, we cool. Iran, we cool. What I'm bringing up today is that bomb that was in that car, those 2 bombs that were thrown, they don't have any racial component. They're going to blow up and kill any American in this vicinity. Do you guys understand? Right now, the FBI has put the West Coast on alert. So all I am saying is, and it's funny how events make it true. My podcast is the best podcast. It's one thing for me to say this. It's another thing. It's another thing for the FBI now to come out and say, we have to put out a warning on the West Coast, because Iran has sleeper cells. We've arrested 2 people already, and now there are threats from Iran. There are threats from Iran that there would be more attacks and sleeper cells in America. I'm just saying to Black content creators and Black Americans, these bombs don't know what race you are. These bombs and these Iranian sleeper cells, this is why you should pay attention to people like me who educate you on the differences between Shia and Sunni and what jihadists are and what the Ayatollah Khomeini what the Ayatollah Khomeini political agenda and political promise was. See, Ayatollah Khomeini was elected. He promised the Iranian people that he would go to war. You know, recently we've dealt with a lot of lawfare. We've dealt with a lot of lawfare in America. Just to give you an example of what happened in Iran with the Ayatollah Khomeini and the Shia Muslim who put in the regime that restricted women from being able to drive, the regime that beat up homosexuals, the regime that beat up women for dancing, the regime that made women wear 3/4 of cloth and said you can't read, write, go to school. Y'all forgot about all of that. Y'all forgot about all of that. Well, that was a political regime. And just like in America where they said, if you elect me, I will prosecute Donald Trump. Y'all remember Letitia James, SDNY? Double tap at the like button. Shout out to Bermuda. Shout out to Southern Soul gentlemen. Do y'all remember? And just we're talking about lawfare and how politics work, because I don't think y'all understand Iran. So Letitia James, Fannie Willis, there were other politicians in recent times who said, and now it's coming out. Now you have Democrats saying she shouldn't have done that. Now we have Democrat leadership saying you should not run on prosecuting people. Right? That is lawfare. MAGA knows the climate. Republicans have been saying this all along, that she ran on the fact that if she was elected, she would prosecute Donald Trump for felonies. Fannie Willis, if you elect me, I will prosecute Donald Trump with a RICO. So just so you know about political motivations and how politics work, if you elect me, I will prosecute Israel, America, and the Europeans. This is the Ayatollah Khomeini. Ayatollah Khomeini. So the Shah of Iran was in power. First, Russia took over Iran after World War II. black content creators, ignorant Americans. Russia took over Iran after World War II. Then the CIA and MI6, America and the UK install a dirty Shah in 1953 in the 1950s. So America then took over. The Allied powers then took over. But the Allied powers always were in control. If you look at Russia after World War II, Russia was our ally. So Russia takes over, and then America takes over when you start to have the Cold War, right? In the beginning, it was cool for Russia to be in control of Iran. Russia's right there. Russia is our buddy. But then the Cold War ensues. We won't go deep into that. But when the Cold War ensues, America and Europe are like, fuck Russia. They can't have Iran and the oil. Hello? Iran has always been strategic in geopolitics. Iran, this was always going to happen if you, this is why I go back and give a foundation. This is why I go back and give, I know a lot of people watching right now are like, holy shit. He is motherfucking right. See, the Cold War. Then now, as you think about the Cold War and you think about the oil in Iran in the Middle East, you got to say, well, was the Cold War real? Because this is what we saying to Joe Biden, with Joe Biden and to Macron and to the EU, who are telling us we need to be afraid of Putin. Now, just last week, we reported Putin is willing to go back to the dollar. I said in the peace deal with Ukraine that Witkoff and Jared Kushner are negotiating in Abu Dhabi. I call it the Abu Dhabi Denali Lobby. Russia is going to be part of the G8 again. Russia is going to trade, so it makes sense that they would use the American dollar. So now you are finally hearing how Trump is First, under Biden, you were terrified. You were afraid of China. You were afraid of BRICS and all this shit. Now, everything is coming down like a domino. It started with Venezuela. It's all coming down like a domino, and it started with Venezuela. Did you guys understand any of this? Huh? No, I don't think any of you are talking to you about this stuff. No, that's why you say Iran is cool. Let's go to the FBI. Before I keep going, let's go to the FBI. Let's go to the FBI. Let's go to the West Coast. Because my channel, I like to give people education. My channel, I like to prepare people. You know what I'm saying? I want people, I've always wanted my channel to be beneficial, right? I've always wanted my channel to be a benefit to the people that watch my channel, right? And if you're on the West Coast, I think you need to know this. Let me see where I have these videos at. The video must, I believe Trump, the video must have moved around. The Pennsylvania man charged with terrorism after throwing 2 bombs at anti-Muslim protests near NYC mayor's home on March 18th. 18-year-old Amir Balat and 19-year-old Ibrahim Kaimani allegedly hurled 2 TP-filled IEDs at anti-Muslim protesters outside Mayor Zohran Mamdani's residence during demonstration billed as Stop the Islamic Takeover of New York City. The U.S. citizens whose parents immigrated from Turkey and Afghanistan, both supposed to be allies of ours, admitted ISIS inspiration, with Balat pledging allegiance and aspiring for a bigger attack than the Boston Marathon bombing. Did you guys hear this? This is what's happening in America for all the black content creators saying we cool. A bombing bigger than the Boston Marathon. It doesn't have any names. Those bombs don't have names, black content creators. Authorities found more explosives in their Pennsylvania storage unit. You guys understand the war is here. Authorities found more explosive. I told you about a car with explosive. Now you find the 2 guys that got arrested, they got more explosive in the store. They ready to go to war. Now, this is what you need to understand. The same thing you need to understand about Trump getting the Armada to Iran. They did not acquire this amount of explosives on Monday. Let me hit the laugh track. They did not acquire this amount of explosives on Monday. They had explosive IEDs that they made. So they had to make them. That takes time. They didn't do that overnight. They had to gather the materials to make those things, and then they had to travel there from Philadelphia. They traveled to New York. They had a car full of explosives. They had another a storage facility full of them. What I am saying to you is that did not happen on Monday when Trump invaded Iran. These 18-year-olds, if you have common sense, you understand what I'm saying. These 18-year-olds did not amass all of these destructive devices in 24 hours, and mobilize in 24 hours. They are part of a sleeper cell that already existed in America, and they were laying and waiting for the opportunity to use these devices. Do you guys understand what I'm saying? Do you guys understand what I'm arguing? I'm arguing that they have been here. They had to have been here to be this prolific and have this level of proficiency. This is not a new thing. You gotta be that has to be the first thing you understand. That has to be common sense. That has to be common sense that these young men did not acquire this level of proclivity on Monday. In the report itself, it says they have been radicalized by ISIS. That didn't happen on Monday. So this is something that's been happening in America. These young men, ISIS ideology did not happen when Trump invaded Iran. Right? So you got to understand logically that these young men in the sleeper cell that they're warning us about, the FBI is warning the West Coast about, is a legitimate warning. If you understand, because a lot of people say, well, they're warning us, but how do they know? You got to understand the everything they found with these young men is how they can say, okay, sleeper cells exist. Because these two young men did not get radicalized on Monday. They did not amass all of these things on Monday. They've had these things for some time. They've been in this ideology. Somebody had to train them in this ideology, teach them in bombs, and then, do you guys understand what is happening in America? Why black content creators is making funny, comical videos about Iran and we cool. We have sleeper cells with multiple bombing devices waiting to be activated, and they activated one in New York already. And now the FBI is putting out a warning for West Coast. And I need you to go watch my new video up on my channel right now. Double tap, hit the like button. Thank you, everybody, man. We go. There's another live stream. There's another powerful live stream out of Purpose of a Podcast coming in with big facts. CNN, Anna Navarro, literally lying on TV. Ain't that all she do with her fine ass? She's a fine motherfucker, though. Oh, Anna Navarro is a fine motherfucker. Hot tamale. Hot like fire. But her ass be lying through her tamale teeth. Double tap it the like button. The Purpose of a Podcast back with the blast. #1 on YouTube for geopolitical and domestic political debate, addressing the meme war and ICE shutdown all the way down to Funky Town.
Ironic is, so supposedly some of these comments are as a result of the attempt against Mayor Mamdani in New York, who was raised Muslim, was he not himself? Yeah. So they're being anti-Muslim and they're finally defending Mamdani over something.
To be clear, the attack wasn't on Mayor Mamdani. It was on people protest. It was attacking protesters, people protesting Mamdani.
Right by his house.
It was to frame it as an anti-Muslim attack would actually completely reverse what happened. Someone who shouted Allah Akbar threw a bomb that didn't go off at the protesters.
Republicans are finally doing something. Ironic is, so supposedly some of these comments are as a result of the.
This is the same shit that was so disgustingly happening the other day when I showed Hakeem Jeffries talking about the shutdown and talking about unpaid TSA agents. Why the fuck is she smiling? This is disgusting. Why? I said MAGA knows the climate. This is the same shit. We are talking about bombs. We are talking about sleeper cells. We are talking about wartime, and they keep fucking smiling. Hakeem, they are fucking evil. The devil, Democrats, fucking evil. Why this of all? I mean, we've seen her get irate. We see her passionate on The View. They get fucking upset. But today, she's smiling. What's so funny, Navarro? What the fuck is funny about these kids and the bombs and sleeper cells? This is in our back door. Why is she laughing?
Ironic is, so supposedly some of these comments are as a result of the attempt against Mayor Mamdani in New York, who was raised Muslim, was he not himself? Yeah. So they're being anti-Muslim and they're finally defending Mamdani over some
anti-Muslim. Is she high? And they yell Allah Akbar and threw bombs at people who were protesting against Islamic immigration. The bombers were the ones who were anti-American. It's like they can't fix their mouth to tell the damn truth no matter what is happening.
To be clear, the attack wasn't on Mayor Mamdani. It was on people protesting. It was attacking protesters, people protesting Mamdani.
Right by his house.
It was to frame it as an anti-Muslim attack would actually completely reverse what happened. Someone who shouted Allah Akbar through a...
That's what she said. You said, oh my God. Y'all make my job easy. Y'all make my job easy. You make my job easy. What we talking about right now, the meme war. This is part of the meme war. This is part of the propaganda right here. Abby, there are people calling for Abby, beautiful ass, to be fired because when CNN first went live with the story, CNN made it seem like these young men, like we just played, were the good guys. I can't make this up. CNN ran a story empathizing with Iranian sleeper cell Muslim jihadist bombers in America. In America, we have an Iranian sleeper cell in America trying to unalive Americans, and CNN lead story had to be retracted. They had to delete their story. CNN had to delete their lead story because their lead story was empathizing with the killers. I can't make this up. So I'm going to read to you CNN. Let's read it together. Let's read it together. CNN retraction and Abby. Then we're going to play Abby as a post regarding the two individuals arrested for throwing homemade devices outside of New York City Mayor Zohran Mamdani's home failed to reflect the gravity of the incident, thereby breaching the editorial standards we require for our reporting. It has therefore been deleted. Double tap, hit the like button. Greater podcast on YouTube. CNN had to take shit down. I mean, dude, please follow our community guideline. Double tap it. I need you to please follow our community guideline. Show some love and honor in the chat. I just read to you CNN got struck down just like on YouTube. CNN had to take down a video for being propaganda. Did you just hear that? I just read to you. So in case you don't know, let's bring them up to speed, everybody in the chat. Let's bring everybody up to speed. The other day, there was an attack in New York by a jihadist Shia Muslim sleeper cell. Two 18-year-old men who live in Philadelphia traveled to New York with multiple devices that were homemade. Under interrogation, FBI found a shack with more devices. These young men at 18 years old were prepared for a war on American soil. They drove, I don't know how they got to New York. We show a beautiful suburban home in Philadelphia. Their parents are Turkish and Afghanistan immigrants. Both of these countries are supposed to be allied with America. This is a fact. Their parents claim that they have been radicalized by ISIS, and they had been arrested after throwing 2 devices in front of Mayor Zandani Mondani's home at a protest crowd who was protesting Mondani and protesting Islamic immigration. So these young men threw devices at the crowd because the crowd wants to stop Islamic immigration. I wonder why. I wonder why. CNN did a story. CNN lead story empathized with the young man who threw the devices. The CNN story was so much propaganda that they had to delete it. They had to delete their story. A post regarding the 2 individuals arrested for throwing homemade devices outside the New York City Mayor Zohran Mondani's home failed to reflect the gravity of the incident. CNN had to admit in a post. Now, it's funny. They don't go back on TV. They don't go back on TV and do the retraction. They can issue the retraction on X. Even though they put out propaganda video on television, they issue a return. See, this is how black content creators, this is how a lot of dum-dums come in my chat. You only see the initial video, the propaganda, the fake news put out by CNN. You know, the one that says tariffs is a tax, all that goofy shit. You see that, you believe it, you buy into that, and then you come in my chat with that dum-dum. And I just obliterate you. That's why I'm the greatest. He's the best around. No one's gonna ever bring me down. He's the best around.
Republicans say Muslims don't belong here after an attempted terror attack against New York's Mayor Zohran Mamdani, and the House Speaker Mike Johnson says nothing really to condemn those comments. Another special guest is going to be with us at the table. Republicans say Muslims don't belong here after an attempted terror attack against New York's Mayor Zohran Mamdani. And
so they had to retract all of that. They had to retract all of that. She did not, it's like they purposely promote anti-establishment propaganda. If y'all want to know, MAGA knows the climate. I just do a lot. Got him. I just do my job.
Republicans say Muslims don't belong here after an attempted terror attack against New York's Mayor Zohran Mamdani.
None of those things were true. Republicans never said that, and the attack was not on the mayor. The attack was by jihadist Iranian sleeper cell. I don't know why they wouldn't want to warn the American people to the dangers that are coming, but that's not what it was. But that's why they had to issue this retraction. Double tap at the like button. Number one podcast.
House Speaker Mike Johnson says nothing really to condemn those comments. Another special guest is going to be with us.
And this is not another thing that I don't like is your media broadcast should not be a place where you go after officials like Mike Johnson. Mike Johnson should be off limits, right? Mike Johnson should be off limits. That should be considered bias. You reminded me of Donna Brazile at this point. Huh? You reminded me of Donna Brazile. See, it furthers the propaganda to where not only did she say something wrong about the people who did the devices, but then her last statement was to throw Mike Johnson under the bus. And Mike Johnson is not the one who Americans need to be worried about. Mike Johnson is not part of a sleeper cell with sheds and bags of TATP, allegedly. It's like, why they want us to be worried about Mike Johnson? I don't know. We don't have enough likes, ladies and gentlemen. We don't have enough likes. Double tap hit the like button. Hey, y'all, get them likes up, man, right now. Let's get a goal. Let's get a goal. Let's get our goal going, man. Let's do a super chat goal today for all of you people. Let's get a super chat goal today. How about that? Let's get a super chat goal. All right. And I still want you guys to send the gifts. All right, we got our super chat goal. All right. I still want you guys to send the gifts. Double tap, hit the like button. All right. Let's get them likes up, man. Let's get them likes up, man. We don't have enough likes, man. I know it's still early in the podcast, but you got to get them likes up early. You can't wait. You know what I'm saying? We can't wait. You know what I'm saying? Get them likes up early, man. Get them likes up early, man. Get them likes up early. Double tap. It's a live stream. We could take our time. Y'all want to take a little break? We could take a little break on the haters. Let's let the haters clear out. We do this every day, man. It ain't no pressure. We do this every day, man. It ain't no pressure. Let's let the haters clear out, man. Let the haters clear out. And then we're going to ask a big favor to everybody still here. Hit the like button. That's how you do that. It's so simple and easy to double tap, hit the like button. If you the type of motherfucker who don't want to hit the like, I really don't want your faggot. I really don't want you fucking here. You feel what I'm saying? If you the type of motherfucker who ain't gonna hit the like, you could just kick rocks. I guess if she say so, I'll have to pack my things and go. That's right, hit the road, Jack. Don't you come back no more, no. What you say? Hit the road, Jack. And don't you come back no more. Oh woman, don't you treat me so mean. You the meanest old woman that I ever seen. I guess if she say so, I have to pack my things and go. That's right. Hit the road, Jack. And don't you come back no more. Hit the road, Jack. And don't you come back no more. What she say? Oh woman, why you treat me so mean? You the meanest old woman I ever seen. I guess if you say so, I have to pack my things and go. That's right. Shit. Go and say something stupid so I can block your ass. Please say something stupid so I can block your ass. They think we got to rush, man. You know what? I'll talk to my wife sometime, man. I have a lot of energy, and I keep the podcast moving fast. I keep the podcast energetic. But I prayed about it, man, and it's like I just realized something in my prayer. God had a talk with me, and I realized that, one thing my wife always tell me, my mama would say, God can, no one can take anything from you that God has for you. And then that made me stop moving in this scared, how you say, scarcity. Help me out in the chat. So I stopped moving like, I was scared. And that was a blessing. That was a real blessing. Stop moving like I was scared, like really coming into the understanding that I'm blessed. Like, it doesn't matter what a troll says. It doesn't matter about a YouTube algorithm. I'm really blessed. I'm really talented. So I just had to come into that understanding. When I came into the understanding that I've been blessed and I'm really talented, and I just I could relax. Like if the podcast and YouTube is full of, dingleberries for a second, we could take a little break. We could cool out, I still got my stories I'm going to do. I'm still going to kick my Willy Bobo, And I just learned, man, that really, I think a lot of reason why, Candace Owens, who is it? Candace Owens, I saw Sneeko. A lot of people has been talking about spirituality lately. And they're saying this is a spiritual fight. Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens have been saying it's a spiritual fight going back to Charlie Kirk. And it's like, if you grow up black, if you grow up, hey, thank you so much. Hit the road, Jack, and don't you come back no more. What you say? Hit the road, Jack, and don't you come back no more. woman on the Jimmy told me you the meanest old woman I ever seen. I guess if you say so, you have to pack your things and go. That's right, hit the road, Jack. Hey, Alex, do you listen to J. Cole? Do you listen to J. Cole? Because you look like a motherfucker who listen to J. Cole. Oh, woman, don't you treat me this old man. You the meanest old woman I ever seen. I guess if you say so, I'll have to pack my things and go. That's right, hit the road, Jack. And don't you come back no more, no more. What you say? Hit the road, Jack. And don't you come back no more. And Alex came in my chat talking shit. I had to send him on packing like a bitch. Don't come in here talking that shit, because I'm going to block you just like this. Hit the road, Jack. Don't you come back no more, no more. What he say? Hit the road, Jack. Don't you come back no more. Who else? Can I get one more, man? Because it makes me feel so good. Come on, dum-dums. Come on, man. I need one more. What's wrong with one more? Ain't nothing wrong with one more. Ain't nothing wrong with one more. Who is that? Shorty is a warrior. How you doing, Shorty? How you doing, Shorty? Don't be scared. You know, when they scared to come in and say, talk, they talk. Talk your shit. they try to test the water. Way in the water. Wait in the water, children. Wait. She want to test the water. Shorty. How's everybody doing? Shawty said, hello, everyone. Is everybody cool in here? Everybody cool as a fan, man. We cool as a fan, man. This is a Pro-Palestine podcast, back with the blast, in and out with the dash. Today, we talk about the meme war. We talk about a lot of ignorant black content creators. A lot of ignorant black content creators buying into Iranian propaganda. It's been a trend, a viral trend here lately with black content creators giggling and laughing about the Iran war. You know what I'm saying? Saying Iran, we cool with Iran. Iran ain't gonna do nothing to black content creators. But sadly, I had to do this podcast today and wake a motherfucker up. Wake him up. You know what I'm saying? How we waking them up is talking about these sleeper cells and these events that don't have names. You know how mama used to say bullets don't got no name, ain't no love trick, ain't no love trick. So mom used to say bullets ain't got no names. So that's what we starting off with. Here we go. I love Benny Johnson. CNN caught repeatedly lying about who was targeted in recent NYC ISIS-inspired attack on American protesters. This is why I believe a lot of people get misled and make these dumb videos.
2 Republicans say Muslims don't belong here after an attempted terror attack against.
This is the definition of real propaganda. This is the definition of real propaganda. This is how our children are being misled. This is why you got ICE walkouts instead of going to school and understanding you need to prioritize your education.
2 Republicans say Muslims don't belong here after an attempted terror attack against New York's mayor, Zoran. 2 Republicans say Muslims don't belong here after an attempted terror attack against New York's mayor, Zoran Mamdani, and the House Speaker, Mike Johnson, says nothing really to condemn those comments. 2 Republicans say Muslims don't belong here after an attempted terror attack against New York's.
So instead of being honest about what happened,
some of these comments are as a result of the attempt against Mayor Mamdani in New York, who
it was not an attempt against Mayor Mamdani.
Was raised Muslim, was he not himself? Yeah. So they're being anti-Muslim. Some of these comments are as a.
This is sad. This is sad. This is why black people make it. We cool Iran. We cool Iran. Huh? Breaking news, NYPD cops are livid at Mayor Zoran Mamdani instead of honoring the two-star chief who leaped barricades and tackled the ISIS-inspired bombers who targeted his home. He hosts pro-Palestine activist Muhammad Khalid for a Ramadan dinner. Wrong message. Y'all voted for him. Hashtag got what you voted for. Hashtag got what you voted for. Every day, black MAGA, black Republicans gotta hear from the dum-dums, you got what you voted, you voted for Trump. Yes, I got what I voted for and I love it. I got what I voted for. Did you get what you voted for? Did you get the free buses? Or did you get a 9.5 raise in property tax in Virginia? Did you get what you voted for? Or did you get a dog tax and the governor who hasn't been fucking governor 90 days triple her fucking salary? At least show some successes. Sandbagger, spanbagger, panbagger, manbagger, who? Spanbagger, panbagger, manbagger, who? Spanbagger, panbagger, manbagger, you. At least, bitch, be governor for amount of time where you can show successes before you get the triple your fucking, she triple her salary. Did you get what you voted for, Democrat?
On both sides, we could have lost many cops and civilians. You should have already taken charge within the first hour, not 24 hours later. They're talking about the mayor here, James.
Yeah, and the other night, instead of hosting the two-star police chief who leaped over the barricades and ran this guy down who had thrown the bomb, the mayor decides at Gracie Mansion to host Mahmoud Khalil. I mean, he's sending such a awful message here to the rank and file. And remember, the mayor, when he was a private citizen who had commented on Twitter then that he saw a cop crying in his car and nature was healing. This is something that, again, the men and women of the NYPD will do the right thing. They're going to enforce the laws. They're going to show up for work. But they understand that this man on the screen right now does not have their back.
On both sides, we could have lost many cops and civilians. You should have already taken charge within the first hour, not 24 hours later. They're talking about the mayor here, James.
That's a fact, man, but this what you got, what you voted for. I love it, man. You got what you voted for. I love it. You got what you voted for. Linda Mayan, we've had 2 terrorist attacks in NYC in the last 10 days. Double tap, hit the like button. This is what's going on in America. While black content creators is trying to say Iran said we cool, in America, this is not, this Today Iran update is giving Americans, shout out to my chat. Frank said, hello from South Louisiana, waiting for the grits to hit the fan. When the sleeper cells activate, got extra food and plenty of ammo. Frank, did you know that there is a warning on the West Coast? Frank, did you know, we're going to get back to the line ass CNN. Frank, did you know there's a warning on the West Coast? Breaking news, double tap hit the like button, Perfect Time Podcast with breaking news. FBI has warned police departments in California that Iran wants to retaliate for American attacks by launching offensive drones against the West Coast, according to the alert reviewed by the ABC News. How many people knew this? Put a 1 in the chat if you knew about the sleeper cells. Frank is up to date. Frank is already prep. MAGA knows the climate, man. MAGA knows the motherfucking climate, man. Frank got he prep. A lot of us preppers, you know what I'm saying, prep and go along with MAGA, man. He got his solar panels. I got my solar panels. I got my solar batteries. I got my dry food from Alex Jones. Double tap hit the like button. Yeah, man, we preppers around this thing, Frank. I'm prepped too. You think I'm not? You think my family gonna go without water? You know what I'm saying? When I see them life straws at Costco, who picked up a life straw? Put a 1 in the chat if you picked up a life straw at Costco. Come on, Frank. Come on, Frank. breaking news, the FBI has warned police departments in California. Now, the FBI didn't just warn a certain sector of individuals, black content creators. See, black content creators think they're okay and they don't have anything to worry about. But black content creators, I just want to give you a report from the FBI. Because black content creators, the FBI isn't saying everybody on the West Coast needs to worry except black content creators. You know what I'm saying? The FBI didn't say that. The FBI didn't say that. The FBI has warned police departments, though. The FBI did warn police departments in California that Iran wants to retaliate for American attacks by launching offensive drones against the West Coast. That means they already had plans and the ability to do so. FBI warns police in California, Double tap hit the like button. How many people have heard this? FBI warns police in California that Iran wants to retaliate for U.S. attacks by launching drones against West Coast, according to an alert reviewed by ABC News. This is breaking news. Get everybody prepared. You know what I'm saying? We already have attacks. So it's not like this is just coming out of anywhere, right? It's not coming out of anywhere because we got the issue in New York. So if you say to yourself, there's no need to worry, let's go back and remind you why you should worry, because it's already happening. It's already happening, ladies and gentlemen.
I can't speak for Mike Johnson, but I would say we've had 2 terrorist attacks here in the last 10 days.
Can we have a real talk this morning? So when you hear about FBI calling local police in California, that's not a small thing. That's not something you meme. That's not a memeable thing. That's not something we laugh and joke about. That's not a memeable topic. That's not isolating yourself being anti-American by saying black people are okay. Iran said these drones won't see you and say, oh, he's black, don't blow him up. That's actually comical for black Americans to think Iran was going to make sure that somehow, how is Iran going to make sure you're protected? Now you understand black American content creators when it was asinine for you to come on internet and say, Iran, we cool. Now Iran is targeting the West Coast. We are in a war. We are in a real conflict. And Iran is targeting the West Coast to the point where the FBI has warned police departments in California. And I promise you, those drones will not distinguish between white and black Americans. It's absolutely idiotic to say that.
I can't speak for Mike Johnson, but I would say we've had 2 terrorist attacks here in the last 10 days.
So
can we condemn those? Why are we?
Of course. What does that have to do with Muslims?
What does that have to do with Muslims?
Do you hear this shit? This is going to cost American people their lives. Sometimes, you know, when you do a podcast, you want moments like this, right? Because this is the viral moment, right? But at the same time, as a Republican, this shit pisses me off and it's actually scary, which is why I made my video dealing with the black content creators, because this shit can be damaging and it can get people hurt. She just said, what does that have to do with Muslims? These young men yell Allah Akbar, right? They yell Allah Akbar. They under interrogation, they admit that they have been radicalized by ISIS. What do you mean? What does it have to do with Muslim? They said they are attacking because they are a Muslim. They are attacking in retaliation for Iran. How is this helpful to Americans? Now, so they say this stupid shit, and then now you have this. Now you have the FBI warning police in California that there's going to be retaliation via sleeper cells. Oh, sleeper cells like this. Oh, you mean sleeper cells like the one in New York who CNN is trying to downplay?
I can't speak for Mike Johnson, but I would say we've had 2 terrorist attacks here in the last 10 days.
What does that have to do with Muslims?
So can we condemn those? Why are we?
Of course. What does that have to do with Muslims?
What does that have to do with Muslims?
There is a radical strain of Islam that's led to these terrorist attacks.
She said, what does that have to do with Muslims? Let's read it again. Because I don't want to be the one. Pennsylvania men charged with terrorism after throwing bombs at anti-Muslim protests near NYC mayor's home. On March 8th, 18-year-old Amir Balat and 19-year-old Ibrahim Kayamani allegedly hurled 2 TP-filled IEDs at anti-Muslim protesters outside Mayor Zoran Mamdani, the Morani residence, during the demonstration billed as Stop the Islamic Takeover of New York. So the 18-year-old and the 19-year-old threw homemade devices at individuals chanting, "Stop the Islamic takeover of New York." Just for context, the U.S. citizens, they're both U.S. citizens. Keeping everybody who's taking notes, they've been arrested. This is what happened. I'm not making it up. These sleeper cells have been activated. 2 18-year-olds have already started the problem, and they've been arrested. Come to find out, they're American citizens. Dum, 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 dum. They both are American citizens. 18-year-old Ibrahim and 19-year-old Amir. Check this out. The U.S. citizens whose parents immigrated from Turkey and Afghanistan admitted ISIS inspiration. Who? The parents or the kids. It doesn't matter. Throw the whole thing away. Throw the whole fucking thing away. With Balat pledging allegiance and aspiring for a bigger attack than the Boston Marathon. Did you guys know that? Authorities found more explosive in their Pennsylvania storage unit. Authorities found, so on the day they threw 2 devices, I reported breaking news that there was a car down the street. After interrogating these 2, police found a vehicle down the street with more devices. Now there's more devices at the storage unit. Is anybody keeping count? How many devices is that? I'm saying devices for a reason. I'm using the word devices for a reason. But how many devices did these 18 and 19-year-olds have? Abby, Navarro, how many devices? How prolific were they? What ability, what type of damage could they have caused? Ladies and gentlemen, anybody keep it count? That day, they threw 2 homemade devices. There was a car with a shit ton more. And when they went to their house, there was a storage facility with a shit ton more. What is that telling you? That they had been preparing for a long time now, well before the day of the invasion last Monday. These individuals were ready to go. They were locked up and ready, not to make a meme video, though. Black America, just like you, Black America. They weren't trying to make funny videos. They weren't trying to make a meme and piss off Trump. They weren't suffering from TDS. No, they were preparing for all-out onslaught. The authorities found more explosives in a Pennsylvania storage unit. They faced federal charges, including material support to a terrorist organization and using weapons of mass destruction, while Mayor Mamdani praised the officers' courage and condemned violence from all sides in the media corrections on the incident's gravity. The media had to be corrected on the incident's gravity. I need everybody watching right now to hit the like button. Here go Abby Phillips. I want to correct something I said last night. The devices thrown in New York City over the weekend by ISIS-inspired attackers was thrown into a crowd of anti-Muslim protesters and not specifically targeted at Mayor Mamdani. That wording was inaccurate and I didn't catch it ahead. I'm telling you right now, Abby Phillips, CNN had to issue multiple retractions. Abby Phillips of CNN had to issue multiple retractions after lying on air. Double tap, hit the like button. Here it is again.
2 Republicans say Muslims don't belong here after an attempted terror attack against New York's Mayor Zoran Mamdani and the
That was a lie. She just had to issue a retraction. That was a lie. Got her. Got her.
2 Republicans say Muslims don't belong here after an attempted terror attack against New York's Mayor Zoran Mamdani, and the House Speaker Mike Johnson says nothing.
The problem is, the biggest problem with this is not so much a victory that we got her. It's not so much a victory that we got her lying and doing fake news, because we already know that they lie and do fake news. The fucked up part about this is her lies and the CNN fake news propaganda can get people hurt. Because what really happened is Americans were targeted, and Americans need to know that that's your fucking job as a reporter, as a broadcast agency, is to give the fucking news so that Americans are learning to what the fuck is going on. But instead of doing that, she fucking politicized it, bro. This is not the news. This is politics, bro. This is propaganda. Instead of fucking telling you the truth so you can be prepared protect yourself. Hey, they're sleeper cells. Hey, they got all this shit in their storage, in their cars, multiple. They ready to go. No, the bitch lies, bro. The bitch lies, bro, and put your life in danger, bro. This ain't news, bro. This is like a fucking MTV talk show, bro. This ain't news. The bitch lies, bro. And put your life so bad she got to issue 2 retractions because she knew she put American lives in danger. She politicized it and tried to say it was about Mayor Mamdani when it was actually about American lives. That's what you say every day. The Democrats don't care about the victims. That is the perfect example of the Democrats caring more about politics than about the victims. You are supposed to educate Americans so Americans don't end up to be victims, but she cared more about Democratic politics, and I can't even make it up.
Some of these comments are as a result of the attempt against Mayor Mamdani in New York.
It wasn't Mayor Mamdani, and they had to issue a retraction.
Really, to condemn those comments, 2 Republicans say Muslims don't belong here after an attempted terror attack against New York's Mayor Zoran Mamdani and the House Speaker.
So once again, that's what she let's read her retraction. Here is Abby Phillips. This is her account. This is not me. This is Abby D. Phillips. This is a blue check. We're reading from her words. These are her words. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to put words in her mouth. I don't have to. This is how bad the Democrats are. When the Democrats mess up so bad, MAGA, we don't have to lie. MAGA, we don't have to make up anything. They do it to themselves. And why Jasmine Crockett lost? Why Jasmine Crockett crying? Why Abby Phillips? They do it to themselves. They do it to themselves. Jasmine Crockett couldn't see that shit coming. Abby Phillips, you couldn't see this shit coming. Nobody did anything to Abby. If Abby gets fired, whatever happens to her, everybody, Trump didn't do it, MAGA didn't do it. She did it to herself. Read it with me, everybody. Read it with me. I want to correct something I said last night. The bombs thrown in New York City over the weekend by ISIS-inspired attackers, y'all hear that? Were thrown into a crowd of anti-Muslim protesters and not specifically target at Mayor Mamdani. One more time for the people in the back. One more time for the people in the back. But they were not intended for Mayor Mamdani, the Morani. The wording was inaccurate and I didn't catch it ahead of time. I apologize for the error. Can't make this up, y'all. Can't make this up, right? I apologize for the error. But the problem is, for me, it's not that she made a mistake. It's the type of mistake that the Democrats always sell out your safety. They sold out your Thanksgiving with a shutdown for 43 days. Right now, that's my other lead story. My other lead story is the fact that, you know, I'm so glad that my channel was doing well. W chat. Can I get a W for the chat? You guys got to get the likes up because I'm gonna tell you what it does. When my channel does well, and the things that I come up with do well, then the news have to cover my perspectives. So one of the perspectives I have shared with you is it's fucked up that the Democrats shut down the government for 43 days in November of 2025. And I have been saying, those who watch me, ever since the government got reopened, but we still are on a stopgap bill, and that the fucking stopgap bill would expire January 30th, I said it's a countdown to January 30th. And there would be another fucking shutdown January 30th. And lo and behold, Hakeem Jeffrey smiling. Like this is only power he has. He's fucking evil. I wish it was me being hyperbolic, bro. I wish it was me being hyperbolic, bro. But it's hungry people, bro. And Hakeem Jeffries is laughing at the fact that some Americans are hungry because he thinks he has a little bit of power. This is what women talk about when they talk about little dick men and their issues with power and shit, bro. Hakeem Jeffries is one of those motherfuckers, man, that make women hate men, bro. That make women hate men, bro. his fucking ass, man, and the way he has been gloating about this shutdown, the way the Democrats are gloating about the shutdown while Americans are fucking starving is so fucked up, bro. It's so fucked up, bro. And they have said, oh, we'll open the government if ICE this and ICE that. And I got a brand new video coming out tomorrow where I expose these motherfuckers. They are lying. They are not going to open up the government. They want to shut down and dismantle ICE. That means Americans are going to go without pay. They don't give a fuck, man. They don't care about no Epstein victims, and they don't care about Americans. TSA agents, FEMA, Coast Guard, air traffic, airports got 5-hour wait times. The Coast Guard, like this, and they're laughing. They're laughing. They're laughing. To them, it's funny. To them, it's funny, right? It's funny. Hakeem Jeffries is laughing. We ain't gonna open it up. What's the other bitch that was out there with Ilhan Omar, Rashida? Whatever her name is, they giggling about the fact that they're not going to open up the government. They're refusing to they dismantle ICE. Until they dismantle ICE. That's what's going on right now. That's what's going on right now. We got more updates. Here we go. I like this one. Back to this one. She said, put a 1 in the chat. Is this where the So we went and reread the report. We read the report, right? This is these men have been charged with terrorism. They are ISIS. They are Americans. They have been radicalized by ISIS. They had a car full of devices. There's a storage facility full of devices. And the main leader said he wanted an event bigger than the Boston Marathon. So if we go back to the video, when we first stopped the video, because Abby is finding it hard to understand how this is related to Muslims. Even though the young men admit to being ISIS and being radicalized by ISIS, I want to know from you, put a 1 in the chat, if this has anything to do with Muslims. Put a 1 in the chat. Is Abby right or wrong? Put a 1 in the chat. Is Abby right? Put a 2 in the chat if Abby's wrong. Because I believe it has something to do with Muslims. And the type of Muslims specifically, when we talk about Shia, jihadists, Ayatollah Khomeini, the Iranian regime, who happens to be majority Shia, the type of people who would beat women. Hello? Is this microphone on? I don't know why she's trying to downplay this radical version of Islam, the type of Islamic people who would beat women for dancing. There was a woman who was dancing on TikTok who was beat to death by the Ayatollah Khomeini Shia regime. Gay people have to hide or get beat to death by the Ayatollah Khomeini Islamic Shia regime. They can't go to school. They can't drive. So I don't know why Abby is acting like this version of Islam doesn't exist, that the Iranian people no longer want to be bound by. Why is Abby trying to act like this version, the type of Islam that would throw a bomb in New York? Double tap at the like button.
I can't speak for Mike Johnson, but I would say we've had 2 terrorist attacks here in the last 10 days.
What does that have to do with Muslims?
So can we condemn those? Why are we?
Of course. What does that have to do with Muslims?
What does that have to do with Muslims?
There is a radical strain of Islam that's led to these terrorist attacks. Obviously, the vast majority of Muslims are
people with terroristic ideologies here and all around the world. What does that have to do with whether Muslims belong in American society as a group?
Yeah, and let's be clear.
I'd like her to hear the answer.
She just, do you see how Democrats think? That's not what she said. They said we're in bizarro land. A lot of us said we're going to be an idiocracy like the movie. We're already here. We're in idiocracy. She said nothing alike. Muslims don't deserve. This is a melting pot. It's America. We have freedom of religion. We have freedom of, we cannot be America and have freedom of religion and say you can't have your worship, whatever religion. That's an oxymoron. She is saying there is a certain sector, Shia Muslims, who believe in jihad and killing me and you. We know this. Killing women who dance, killing gay men just for being gay. What are you talking about, Abby? I love how she just looked like I didn't say that. I didn't say, I'm talking about the Shia. I'm talking about the Muslims who beat up women. I'm talking about the Muslims who beat up gay men. That's who we're talking about, the Muslims who were in New York throwing devices. Abby?
What does that have to do with Muslims?
There is a radical strain of Islam that's led to these terrorist attacks. Obviously, the vast majority of Muslims are
people
peaceful.
with terroristic ideologies here and all around the world. What does that have to do with whether Muslims belong in American society as a group?
Yeah, and let's be clear.
I'd like her to hear the answer.
I'm talking about what Mike Johnson was saying.
That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about what he didn't say.
But you haven't read his full quote.
What I'm talking about is what he didn't
Islamic
say.
extremism without compromising our commitment to religious liberty. He was chiding those two members of Congress. And by the way, as a Republican,
was he?
As a Republican, I believe
Yes,
I believe that the same amendment,
there are strong language.
the same amendment that gives those two members of Congress.
You know what? You know what nobody said, Abby? You know what nobody said? Nobody said, oh, there are no Muslims allowed here and you can't practice Islam here. Nobody said that, Abby. Nobody's, you are entered. This is the propaganda. This is the propaganda. This is how it gets interjected. And low-level, low-thought intellectual people hear this and take it as gospel. You know what nobody said, Abby, is what the fuck you just said. Nobody said what the fuck Abby just said. That's why that girl in the red dress did the most brilliant thing and just shut the fuck up. And she just looked at everybody like, what the fuck just happened? Is Abby trying to make me be, say I have Islamophobia? So she just got quiet. Because, bitch, I didn't say that. Nobody said that, Abby. Nobody said that, Abby. Nobody said no Muslim should be allowed in America. Only Abby said that, you guys. Now listen again.
I can't speak for Mike Johnson, but I would say we've had 2 terrorist attacks here in the last 10 days.
What does that have to do with Muslims?
So can we condemn those? Why are we?
Of course. What does that have to do with Muslims?
What does that have to do with? What does that have to do with Muslims?
There is a radical strain of Islam that's led to these terrorist attacks. Obviously, the vast majority of Muslims are
people
peaceful.
with terroristic ideologies here and all around the world. What does that have to do with whether Muslims belong in American society as a group?
Yeah, and let's be clear.
She looked at everybody like, she looked around like, bitch, what? I didn't say that. No one said that. No one said that. The speaker didn't say that. I didn't say that. I'm not saying that. Perfect Time Podcast is not saying that. I believe in America. I believe in the Constitution, the Bill of Rights. I believe in the freedom of religion. If you want to go to the mosque, Don Lemon shouldn't bring his monkey ass in there. If you want to go to the Catholic Church, Don Lemon shouldn't bring his monkey ass in there. If you want to go to the synagogue, Don Lemon shouldn't bring his monkey ass in there. That's why Don Lemon going to jail, because of the FACE Act. It don't matter in America if you go to the mosque, Don Lemon can't bring his monkey ass in there and interrupt you while you praying and worshiping Allah. If you go to the Catholic Church, Don Lemon can't come in there. If you go to the synagogue, Don Lemon can't come in there. America is the greatest country in the world. America is the greatest country in the world. America is the greatest country in the world. It's not just great because we say it. It's great because Don Lemon can't come in there any goddamn time, no matter what religion. That's what makes it the greatest country in the world, because Don Lemon can't bring his monkey ass in there and interrupt our worship. It doesn't matter if it's a synagogue. It doesn't matter if it's a cathedral. It doesn't matter if it's a mosque. So no one said what Abby is saying. Look at this face, how she's looking at Abby. This is just white girl gold right here. This is white girl gold. She's looking at Abby like, Abby? Like, I didn't even, like, Abby, I don't even know what, like, Abby, I don't even know what they're doing right now. I don't know even, like, what to say. She looked at Abby like, huh? Like, you're my friend. Like, Abby, I didn't say that. Like, really? Let's watch it. This is priceless television. When they talk about must-watch TV, when the way she looked at Abby and looked at Navarro like, I didn't say that. Who said that? I would never say that. Abby, why is Abby saying that?
Do with Muslims.
There is a radical strain of Islam that's led to these terrorist attacks. Obviously, the vast majority of Muslims are
people
peaceful.
with terroristic ideologies here and all around the world. What does that have to do with whether Muslims belong in American society as a group?
Yeah, and let's be clear. Let's look.
I like her.
She looked at it like, I don't know what said that, Abby.
To hear the answer.
I'm talking.
And then Navarro, said, I like this. Don't go on this show. If you're a MAGA Republican, do not go on this show. No one said that.
Talking about what Mike Johnson was saying.
That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about what he didn't say.
You haven't read his full quote.
What I'm talking about is what he didn't
Islamic
say.
extremism without compromising our commitment to religious liberty.
Without compromising our commitment to religious liberty. We can deal with this version of Islam, the Shia version of Islam, this jihadist version of Islam that believes women can't read, drive, must wear 3/4 of cloth, that believes it's okay to beat and stone women for wearing a miniskirt, that believes it's okay to beat and stone gay individuals. We can deal with that version of Islam and still respect our religious sensibilities. That's what Mike Johnson said, and this is just disgusting.
Our commitment to religious liberty. He was chiding those two members of Congress. And by the way, as a Republican,
we can do both. We can do both. And just for the record, the majority of Muslims are Sunni. 80 to 90% of Muslims are Sunni. They do not believe in the Shia ideals and jihadist ideology. So it's not like, and I wish more people who try to get you to hate Trump and hate white America would just be honest.
Was he?
As a Republican, I believe that the same. I believe that the same amendment.
There are strong language.
The same amendment that gives those two members of Congress.
Or is it bigotry, Joe?
The same amendment that gives those two members of Congress the right to say things that are offensive, that I find actually offensive as well, is the same amendment that permits Muslim people to be here proudly and practice their faith.
Nobody said that Mike Johnson should throw.
You said it, Abby. You said, somebody said she had to issue a retraction. I want to correct something. I said last night the bombs thrown in New York over the weekend by ISIS-inspired attackers were thrown into a crowd of anti-Muslim protesters and not specifically targeted at Mayor Mamdani. She had to do the retraction. This is it right here. I don't know if you guys saw it. Here it is right here. Hero NYPD Chief Aaron Edwards, 46, who chased down the ISIS-inspired activist, had this to say: once a cop, always a cop. When danger appears, you react. Rank doesn't matter. The cop in you takes over. This, you see the chief of police right here jumping over the fence, but CNN thinks is no. Look at that young man. Look at that young man. That was the second device he had. And remember, I reported it when he was arrested. What did he say? Allah Akbar, Allah Akbar. Under interrogation, he said he was radicalized by ISIS. When they went to their home, they found more devices just like this. How many cells like this exist? And how many of these devices currently are in America that could injure Americans? Remember, I'm reporting to you that the FBI has warned all the police stations in California that Iran is targeting the West Coast with drones. That's why we're having this talk this morning about the domestic effects of the Iran war. The domestic effects of the Iran war. Let's have a talk.
Get a circle. Just turn around, get a circle.
This is what's happening on American streets as a result of but I want to tell y'all, what I want to bring to you today is the fact that these groups had to already exist. These groups were not created overnight. Double tap hit the like button. CNN's Abby Fibbers claims that the attempt in the inside bombing was an attack on the mayor. We ain't gonna go over that again. What's this right here? Last night, I had Jake Lang on my show to discuss how he survived a literal assassination attempt by ISIS individuals. He was there, and he got at the mayor for what the mayor was doing or the lack of action by the mayor. He's very provocative with his statements. Let me see. I played that. Adam Navarro, we played Navarro. Let's go to Jake. I'll go to Jake. Jake could be very provocative with his statements. Here it is again. The footage is clear as day. The ISIS-inspired radical drops his homemade device at the feet of the COP, and the media is trying to tell you it was too far to cause real damage. Give me a break. Look at it. Let's look. This is him. They said, I don't know why people are trying to minimalize this. I don't know why they don't want American people prepared. I don't know why. The thing to take away from this is not the fact that it happened, but like my mom would teach me, is not 10% is what happened, 90% is what you do. And what I want to talk to you today about is the fact that there were multiple devices and that they had these things in their home. And he didn't have to drop it. He dropped it right by them. He threw it at them. See it? The arrow. And this guy jumping over the fence to get him. Now, today what I want to talk about is not so much what happened, is the fact that when after being interrogated and when they went to their Philadelphia home, that they found so many other devices and that there was a car found down the street with multiple devices. I want to talk about that when I talk about the sleeper cells that the FBI is warning the California police about. You need to understand that these young men have been prepared. They did not just amass all of these devices overnight. These young men have been prepared for this event. So what does that say about Trump's reasoning to go into Iran? If there were Iranian sleeper cells already in America, what does that say about Trump? Because some people, I said Trump was right. From my first day of my Iran coverage, I said Trump was right because I knew it was coming, because this was part of what happened in Venezuela and Cuba. It's been a domino effect. And what Bill Maher said the other day, if Trump gets Venezuela and gets Cuba to fall and also gets Iran, doesn't Trump deserve the Nobel Peace Prize? What's happening in Cuba? The same thing that's happening in China. Trump stopped the oil in Venezuela. Where was the oil going? The oil in Venezuela was going to all of our opposition, communist sympathizer in Cuba and in China. So when we stopped the oil leaving Venezuela, we cut off Cuba. Cuba has been without power for 2 months. Cuba has 18-hour blackouts. Cuba hospitals have to ration out electricity. They have food shortages, and they have protests in the streets. Now, you may have heard January, February. It's fucking March 11th. They had issues in Cuba in January. In February, they were in dire need. They were almost about to die in February. March is drop dead date for Cuba. They are out of oil. They are out of food. They have no choice but to make a fucking deal. And while you've been shitting on Trump, having TDS, you know what's been going on? Mark Rubio, this is why MAGA keeps bringing up Rubio for president in 2028. Mark Rubio is in back channel talks, just like he was in back channel talks with Maduro, and how Maduro got his wife out of there safe and sound, looking pretty. Mark Rubio is in back channel talks, and he is gonna get a regime change in Cuba without one American troop on the ground, without one missile in the air. Why? Because Cuba is starving. Cuba wants a regime change. They're tired of the communist regime. So Mark Rubio has been talking to them for months. You want some water? See, shit changes when it comes down to motherfucking water. You know, people can have an attitude all they want until you come down to motherfucking water. Do you want some water? water. A cool, refreshing. Cuba, do you want some motherfucking water? See, Mark Rubio, when I played Trump, Trump said, we dealing with Iran right now. Rubio is going to probably take an hour to finish Cuba. Why did Trump sound so bold about it ain't going to take long to make a deal with Cuba? Because they don't have any water. You can't live without water for 2 months. And then Trump put a tariff. For all of you who don't understand how tariffs and trade work to protect your country, Trump put a tariff. Warning. After we took the oil from Cuba and after we took the oil from Venezuela and started to starve out Cuba, Trump said anyone who tries to help Cuba by giving them oil, food, or water will receive a hefty tariff because Mexico and China was going to send Cuba aid. And Trump said, if you give Cuba aid, I'm going to give you a fucking tariff, a huge fucking tariff. So Mexico backed off, China backed off, and Cuba has been slowly starving for 2 months. Did anybody know that? How many people fucking knew that? It's so much propaganda, you don't even know what's going on. How many people knew that Cuba has been starving for 2 months? And that Mark Rubio is in back channel talks with the leadership, and he's that close to getting the motherfuckers to make a deal so that we can give them water and oil and give the people food so everyone in Cuba doesn't die. Because what the conversation is going to be this: look, motherfucker, either you do what I ask you to do and we get regime change, or America is going to starve you out and you're going to fucking die and we get regime change. Either way, we get regime change. Cuba, either you do the deal with Mark Rubio, get water, and we do regime change, or you die and we get regime change in Cuba without one American soldier. That's what's happening in the geopolitical realm. That's what's happening in the geopolitical realm. Venezuela starved out Cuba. And when we go to Iran and we stop the oil in Iran going to China, the same effect will occur because China was dependent on Venezuelan and Iranian oil, not just happenstance, dependent. Interdependent on Venezuelan and Iranian oil. And just like Cuba has 18-hour blackouts with billions of people, what the fuck you think gonna happen to China? Quickly. We're not talking about a year from now. We're not talking about it. We're talking about over fucking night. China is dealing with issues now. China is already dealing with issues when we stopped oil from Venezuela. With the Straits of Hormuz closed, it's not just China. We are experiencing oil barrels go above 100. Think about this, ladies and gentlemen. We're the ones attacking Iran. America is attacking Iran, and our oil went up. Fuck Cuba. Fuck China. We are the ones with the power. We are the ones doing the attack. Our oil doubled. Oil went up to $120 on March 9th. It went down yesterday to $77, but oil went up to $120 on March 9th. That's with us. So what's happening in China? Cuba is starving. So what's happening if Americans are paying at the pump? What's happening in China after Americans have cut off Venezuela and Iran? This is just realistic. If we are suffering at the pump, what do you think is happening in China? Venezuela, Cuba, then we went to Greenland. What was exposed with Greenland? What we exposed with Greenland is the fact that NATO and the UN are no longer viable partners for America. Trump took us out of the Paris Climate Agreement when he came back into office. Trump made NATO pay more money, which is only like 5%. They were only paying 2%. Spain is a freeloader, don't pay shit. But what we learned when we went to Greenland, I believe Trump purposely did that to find out if he would have allied NATO support when he invaded Iran. So he went to our friends in NATO. Now think about it going back in time. think about it going back in time. When we were going to NATO in Europe and saying we need Greenland, at that time, we should have been able to predict we're going to go invade Iran and we need this dome to protect, because like I warned you guys today, Iran is planning to attack America with drones. So when Trump went to Greenland in Europe to get permission to build the Golden Dome, it was because it was a precursor to our attacks on Iran, and we wanted further protection because we were going to attack Iran. I believe the European powers knew and understood the only reason Trump is asking for this now is because Trump plans to escalate geopolitical violence by attacking somebody in our region. And that's why they said no. They refused. And this is what Trump said. This will protect Europe and our NATO allies also. It's kind of weird that they don't want us to build this dome to protect us from the missiles that we are now open to from Iran. That was, everybody should have saw the sign. I saw the signs. MAGA, we knew the climate. What you should have understood then is that Trump was testing the water to find out if NATO would align with us for the next step. If NATO would have agreed to the Greenland deal and we started building the dome when we attacked Iran, we would have these further capabilities and we would have NATO allies. It would have been over even quicker. Imagine what Trump was saying to NATO at the time. Look, Iran has been fucking with y'all. Y'all got Brexit. You got these Muslims in here threatening white people. White women can't wear what they want to wear at bus stops. Fuck with me on Iran, fuck with me on Greenland. It's going to be better for your economy, and we'll be able to get the Ayatollah out of there quickly, and it's better for everybody in the region. Remember, America worked with MI6 in Iran previously. So if you think America did not discuss with Europe that we were going into Iran and it would benefit Europe to help us and be on our side, Spain said no to us using the bases. I believe that Europe and the whole Greenland shit was them saying they wasn't going to fuck with us on Iran. And they're not helping us right now. That's what happened with Spain, and I believe NATO has collapsed. And I read to you reports that Trump already put in the budget that he's not when the budget passes, he not giving money to NATO or the UN, similar to the changes, just to lay a foundation for those who's listening. We already said NATO ain't shit, Paris Climate Accords, but in the budget, in the Republican budget, there is no new money for NATO and the UN. And to give you an example of that, just like the Department of Education and just like USAID, for those of you who might say, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. Trump wouldn't do that. Trump ain't taking the money. No, I need to give you an example. I want to lay a foundation for my theory in telling you I've read the budget, but also I need to remind you when I say Trump already has crossed out that line item for the UN and for NATO funding in our Republican budget, just like USAID. So that should hit home. For those of you who are anti-Trump, you know about what I'm talking about. Some of you just be listening, you don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. So if you remember what Trump did to USAID, he's going to do the same thing to NATO and the UN. And I'm happy. That's what I voted for. Man, if Kamala Harris was president, man, well, okay, let's talk for a sec. Frank, I love you, Frank. Double tap it to the like button. Where my super chats at? We don't have enough likes and we don't have enough super chats. Get the likes up. We should have over 100 likes by now. How long we been doing this, man? I can't even see how long I've been live, man. We need more likes. We should have had over 100 likes by now, more super chats. My brother Frank said, could you imagine Kamala Harris being president with all of this going on? So what I would say to that is something I began talking about earlier, Frank. How did we get here, Frank? You're doing great. Much love from Duval. Thank you, brother. Thank you. I love you for that. I gave you a like and I subscribed. Thank you, John. Thank you, John. I love you for that. Double tap, everybody. So let's deal with Frank right here, because this, Frank, my first time here. I like the show. Thank you. Thank you so much. I love you for that. It means a lot. It means a lot. It really does. Let's deal with Frank. Frank said, could you imagine Kamala Harris being president with all this going on? So, Frank, you're going to give me a great opportunity. And Terrell said, same. Thank you, Terrell. Love you. Thank you so much, Terrell Wright. That's a great name. Sound like a family member. Frank, you're going to give me a great opportunity to educate some people here who may be new here. So in my education, Frank, in my podcast, I like to do a lot of education. So one of the things I educated people on, and it's sad that a lot of the black content creators made that video saying Iran, we cool, and empathizing with Iran. How you doing? Who is that? How you doing? And Ron Dio. So my foundation is, first thing I did, I explained to my audience the difference between the Shia and the Sunni Muslim. You'll hear me refer to that a lot. So hopefully you rewind, go back and watch my previous live streams. Another thing I laid out is when I did my research, it was very clear to me. I know my intellect is different. It's my job, right? But for me, there was, Frank, to your question, there was a very clear through line from 2020 in the election of Biden and Kamala Harris till today. And I said, when Biden was elected, there was an uptick of proxy violence. So what I had to do is, after I educated my audience on the difference between Shia and Sunni, and that the split came in the 600s after Muhammad died, and that 1979, Ayatollah Khomeini took over Iran in a political takeover as a Shia Muslim, and later installed the IRGC, which put in all of those authoritarian things about women. I said that in 2020, and that Iran has proxies. Abby had to admit that Iran has proxies, Hezbollah, Houthis, and Hamas. And they've been fighting for 47 years on behalf of Iran. Iran funds them to the tune of billions of dollars a year. Hezbollah alone, $700 million annually, 100,000 missiles given to them by Iran. These are the Iranian proxies that have kidnapped Americans, killed Americans, and also kidnapped and killed Israelis, because they want you to be poisoned against Israel and forget about the fact that the Hamas, Houthis, and Hezbollah have also killed, murdered, and kidnapped Americans, and they swore that as a political promise in 1979. That's how Ayatollah Khomeini came to power in 1980. They kidnapped Americans at the embassy and held them for over 400 days, over a year. So I don't know why they want to poison you, says Israel, this is Israel's fight. No, these Shia Muslims who came to power in 1979 and their proxies have been trying to kill Americans and have killed Americans, have kidnapped Americans for 47 years. So don't believe them when they poison pen Israel and they try to get you to focus and say it's Israel's fight. No, that's why there are sleeper cells in America, and the fucking sleeper cells have been fucking here because they want to kill Americans too. They want to kill Israel, but why are those two 18-year-olds and 19-year-olds have so many fucking devices? They didn't just get them Monday. I argue they've had them for some time because of the jihad that they swore in 1979. Let me not get too excited, but I get fucking pissed off at the fucking stupidity. So I said there's a through line from 2020 when Biden, Sleepy Joe Biden, was elected, and DEI Kamala Harris, who you just brought up. DEI Kamala Harris. Now, in the black content creators, today I'm talking about a video I made where I eviscerate ignorant black content creators who buy into Iranian propaganda that says, we cool Iran. So when Sleepy Joe Biden and DEI hire Kamala Harris came into office, one of the videos say that Trump is the reason why we're here, and Trump failed in a negotiation with Iran, and that goes to their fucking level of intellect and ignorance. No. In 2021, Biden and Kamala were president, and Biden and Kamala met with the Iranian leadership in Vienna. And there were nuclear peace talks that were held by Biden and Kamala, and Biden and Kamala failed, not Trump. See, there is a through line. When Iranian Shia Muslim terrorist extremists saw there was a weakness in the White House, when they saw that weak, crippled, sleepy old man in that DEI hire, they said, we have an opportunity to get off our agenda. Sleepy Joe is not going to protect the house. So Sleepy Joe and Kamala met with the Iranian leadership in 2021 in Vienna, and they failed at the JPOCA. They failed at getting Iran to stop nuclear proliferation. My chat even reminded me that Biden and Obama attempted to pay off the Iranians with your tax dollars to get them to stop proliferating uranium. After the peace talks in Vienna failed, I believe they looked at Biden and he probably fell asleep at the table. I believe they looked at Kamala and she probably looked like she was unqualified. And they went back to Iran and said, we're going to do what the fuck we want. They went back to Iran, started to enrich uranium at a larger rate under Biden after the peace talks failed. And then they started an uptick of proxy violence, leading all the way up to when Biden had to send missiles back because they had been bombing American bases all the time leading up to 2023. After those peace talks, Iran and its proxies started bombing Israel, bombing American bases up to over hundreds of times leading up. This is how you fight a war. You think they just did October 7th in 2023? You think they just did October 7th in 2020? No, they softened you guys up. They softened you up and they knew they could do October 7th. This is the same thing with Nancy Grace. You think they just kidnapped Nancy Grace that night? No, they had stole packages off her house many times before. They knew they could kidnap her. So Iran and its proxies during the Biden administration continued to bomb Israel and America, leading up to them being confident enough to pull off October 7th. I reported to you here on October 8th, Hezbollah and the Houthis bombed Israel and American bases 160 times. So you heard about October 7th. They never tell you about October 8th, where Iran and its proxies continue to bomb Israel and America. Even October 8th. They only want to demonize Israel and say, Israel is bombing children. Yeah, they never told you that Iran was giving Hamas $300 million a year, that Iran supported the attacks on October 7th. So when you bring up Kamala Harris and where would we be if Kamala was president, we would be fucking dead. Because Kamala and Biden is the reason why October 7th happened. And under Kamala and Biden, we had actual people, these Iranian cells, we have people come through the Mexican-American border. Do you know we have a problem with CDLs and Americans being unalived on the highway? The thing is, those are not Latinos. There's people with CDLs driving tractor trailers who can't read and write English are not Latinos. Can I get a double tap and a like, please? Can I get a super chat? Can we having a real talk? These people are from Yemen. These people are from the Middle East. They came across the Mexican-American border in 2022. You guys thought just Mexicans came, huh? You thought just Venezuelans came, huh? No. When they kick off this war, you have no idea who's already here. Biden fucked us up. You have no idea who's already here. 10 million people by Democratic estimates, 20 million by Republican. You don't know who's here. You don't know who's here. They thinking they got Mexican people protesting. This is why I said, why is Mexicans out there protesting? You ain't seen no black people protesting this immigrant shit. Why are Mexicans out there? This ain't about fucking Mexicans. I ain't looking for fucking Mexicans. Ecuador, Venezuela, Yemen. That was all propaganda. Them is paid protesters. You do not know who is fucking here. Ain't that scary? The Democratic liberal media got you hating your country, hating Trump, thinking that Trump wants to arrest Eduardo and Jose. We don't give a fuck about Jose. We don't give a fuck about Jose. There are sleeper cells here. Yemen, Yemenis came here in 2022. The people with the CDLs are not Mexican. They're not South American. They're Middle Eastern. And so far, there's been over 3 accidents. All 3 of the guys came here in 2022. All of them are Middle Eastern. And they all were able to obtain not only driver's licenses, but CDLs. They could have TP in those trucks and drive one right into an American city. We have no idea, you guys, what's really going on. The propaganda has us, it's a fog over Americans. We're not focused on the right shit. I promise you, I'm not trying to be hyperbolic. I'm not trying to scare you. Matter of fact, fuck that. Fuck that. What did Kendrick say? Fuck that. I'm not trying to be hyperbolic. I'm not trying to scare you. Let me get, this is not, no, this ain't what that is. This is not what that, I'm giving you information. Abby lied to you. CNN lied to you. I don't know why Abby lied. I don't know why CNN lied. They had to retract their lie. But straight up, Frank, if Kamala was president, we would be in trouble, brother, because I believe if Kamala and Biden was president, Iran would attack America because they would think we were soft, especially after America failed to retaliate after October 7th, because Americans bought into propaganda that October 7th had nothing to do with America. And it's sad that we haven't had this talk yet. Americans brought into the propaganda that October 7th wasn't about you. Americans believe that they only attacked Israel. Hey, Americans, you can be on the side of Gaza, because when Gaza attacked Israel, they weren't attacking you. They were attacking Jeffrey Epstein and Bibi Netanyahu and all this gross shit about kids. But the truth was, they were actually attacking America. They were Shia Muslims, and they have sleeper cells in America, and they don't fucking like you. But instead, they poison you against Israel. So you would be vulnerable in my eyes. I think they want you to be vulnerable. By making you hate Israel and not love America and protect yourself, it makes you vulnerable. By you thinking that you're separate from Israel and that they only hate Israel, it makes you vulnerable. It makes you vulnerable. If you think, because the sleeper cells are already in America. So you already asleep. The sleeper cells are happy because Americans think they only want to kill Israel. So they're over here waiting, and they're going to surprise you, just like they did in New York. Just like they did in New York, Americans are rocked to sleep. Sleepy time. You think they only hate Israel. It's about Jews because they have poisoned you against Jews. I don't know why Jews are just a small part. I don't know why. I don't know why you believe it. I don't know why you want to, because you need a boogeyman. So today it's the Jew. Yesterday, I've been the boogeyman before. It was black men. 9/11, it was a different boogeyman. Today, the boogeyman are the Jews, right? Today the boogeyman are the, remember black men going to jail, black men was the boogeyman. Today, Jews are the boogeyman, and they have told you, don't worry about the sleeper cells. Don't worry about Islamic extremism, because ignorant black people made videos and they said, oh, Iran said I'm cool. Iran said I'm cool. So they say, don't worry about the Iranian Shia Muslims, because they don't want to kill you. They only want to kill the Jews. So you don't have anything to be scared about. Surprise. Let me read this to you. Surprise. FBI warns. Let's read it. Breaking ABC. The FBI has warned police departments in California that Iran wants to retaliate for American attacks by launching offensive drones against the West Coast. Can't make this shit up, baby. Can't make this shit up. New FBI sent a warning to California police departments that Iran could launch drones at the West Coast. Double tap hit the like button. This ain't no fucking fake news over here, you guys. This ain't no fucking fake news. This is shit real. We in a war. We was in a war 20 years with Iran. When we left Iran under Biden, I'm telling you what happened. I'm telling you what happened while we have this conflict. When we left Iran, when Joe Biden pussy ass got ran, Joe Biden lost the election because everybody saw how he left Iran, and then Trump beat his ass in that debate over the fact of how he left Iran. You know what I said to my audience? Trump and the Republicans are not the only people who saw Biden's cowardice when he left Iran, when he left, Afghanistan. Trump and the Republicans are not the only one who saw Biden's cowardice when he left Afghanistan. The Iranians noticed, and that was behind the uptick in violence during the Biden administration. Biden put America against the wall. When he ran out of Afghanistan, that left a vacuum. I wish I was making this up. I wish none of this was true. I wish it wasn't true, you guys. I wish you couldn't go and Google. I wish we didn't have Apple Watches and Apple phones. I wish you couldn't Google Biden in Afghanistan. I wish you couldn't Google how the globe felt about how Biden left Afghanistan. I wish it wasn't true, but it is. And what you will find if you go research, that Iran felt emboldened by the lack of efficiency of the Biden regime. I wish I was lying. I wish I was lying. But imagine if you were Iran. Imagine if you were Iran and you saw Biden cowardly leave Afghanistan and not leave any support. Now remember, the conservative so-called neocons said we can't leave Afghanistan because what it will do in the region. And no one gave a fuck. America first, America. And no one listened. If we leave Afghanistan like this, Israel will be vulnerable and these Iranian proxies will run fucking rampant. Biden did the worst departure in military. And Iran took advantage because it left a power vacuum in the region. When the Americans left running with their tail between their legs, Hamas, Houthis, Hezbollah, they fucking said, yoo-hoo, it's a party going on right here, a celebration to have throughout the year. So bring your good times and your Islam too. We gonna bomb America, come celebrate with you. Soon as Biden left, they threw a motherfucking party because America left the region totally with their tail between their legs. We left so bad, we left people behind. We left people behind. That emboldened the Iranian proxies. That led to the uptick of violence. That brought us into October 7th. There is a clear through line from Biden's election, Kamala Harris as vice president. There is a clear through line from 2020 all the way till now. Because after October 7th, what America and Israel understood is that we could no longer focus on the proxies. If we did not stop Iran, Iran would continue no matter how much we beg them, no matter how much money we give them, no matter how much uranium, if we say we will enrich the uranium for you, Iran will not stop funding these proxies. Thusly, the violence won't stop against America and Israel. The only thing we can do to stop the violence against America and Israel is deal with Iran. And now, what do you hear? Christine Amanpour, remember she had her own show on CNN. All the Iranians are saying, please don't leave Iran. Trump is right. Only the white liberal Democrats are saying Trump is wrong. Talk to anybody Iranian. On the Democrat side, on the Republican side, they are saying for 47 years, they have been trying to kill Americans. For 47 years, they have been trying to kill Jews. Trump, please don't listen to the Democrats. Stay the course. This is a fact. This is a fact. This is a fact. I'm not making none of this up. I wish I wasn't. I wish Biden wasn't such a horrible president because we would not be in this conflict. Trump says it all the time. Trump said if Biden and the Democrats did not steal the election, we would not be here because I promise you, Iran would not have felt comfortable with October 7th and the uptick of proxy violence because look what Trump did to Iran last year in the 12-day war. He dropped 2 of the largest bombs underneath nuclear weapons on Iran just to let Iran know, hey, while I'm president, all that bullshit that happened under Biden, I'm going to drop a nuclear bomb on your bitch ass. Trump did that in the first couple months, and I said, I support Trump. Y'all don't know why Trump did. I know why Trump did that. Trump dropped those 2 bombs to let Iran know that bullshit that y'all been doing under Biden is dead. If you continue that violence like what you did on October 7th during my regime, everything is gone. And then Trump followed up with that shit, and now we in Iran kicking their motherfucking ass. But only after, now listen, only after we went to Venezuela, we got Cuba, and we went to Greenland. We didn't go to Iran first. Now, listen, when we were in Venezuela, when we were in Greenland and Cuba, all the TDS people were focused on that. What was Trump doing? 4D chess. He secretly, quietly put an armada outside of Iran. Super carriers, nuclear submarines, drones, everything we need while you guys were having TDS. Right now, I am telling you about warnings on the West Coast. Let me get a banner up. West Coast sleeper cells. FBI, let's get it up there, you guys. FBI warns. Put it in the chat. FBI warns West Coast of attack. All right, let's add that banner. Let's play the video. Double tap at the like button. This is why we needed Greenland. You know what I'm thinking right now? I'm thinking about all the Democrats, all the liberals who told Trump, we don't want Greenland and Trump is doing too much by going to Greenland. All the Democrats, all the liberals who made jokes about Greenland and Iceland. Oh, Trump said Iceland. And no one ever paid attention to the Golden Dome and why we were in Greenland. Now we have the FBI warning every police station in California that Iran could hit us with drones. What about, all I can think about is all those Democrats who were shitting on Trump, even though you're American. And I was up here screaming. Y'all should have seen me. I was crashing the fuck out on Democrats because they were being so anti-American. And I was crashing out on NATO because NATO was being anti-American. Like, why would you fight us on this? And remember when I told you about the Danish prime minister? He had troops. He said if America tries to take Greenland, he's going to have troops. As I look at these drones, as we watch these drones, as we look at Iranians' capability in drone technology, doesn't it make sense why we needed the Golden Dome and we don't have it now? So now California is Democrat, California is blue. I hope you're fucking happy. I hope you're fucking happy because you said Trump was wrong for going to Greenland and Orange Man bad and all this goofy shit instead of doing your fucking homework. Stay in school, learn civics, subscribe to my channel, do your fucking homework. No. Why does he want Greenland? Trump is crazy. Why does he want Greenland? Look at this shit. Now do you know why? Now do you know why? Look at this shit. Iranian drones. FBI has warned the West Coast police departments that Iran is targeting California with these drones. So why are we showing this? Because the FBI just contacted California police departments to let them know that Iran wants to retaliate for U.S. attacks by launching drones against West Coast, according to alert received by ABC News. That's why we're talking about this. The FBI has warned police departments in California. Everybody tell your family, thank you, John, for the super chat. I love you, brother. They will attack you. They will attack us. It's inevitable. Biden and Kamala let them in, and they are here. Yes, sir. John, they already attacked. Remember where we started at first. They already attacked, right? They already attacked because they attacked us in New York, right? And these two American teenagers in New York have a warehouse full of devices. How many people could they have hurt? On that day, they threw 2 devices. A car was found with multiple devices. When went to their home, they found a storage shed. How many Americans can they have taken out? They're here, John. Not only are they here, they're active. What we need to tell Americans, and what Abby is so guilty for, is because not only are they here, why the FBI don't tell police something to waste. The police, that's going to take time from the police and efforts. When the police gets that information from the FBI, they now have to put people and money behind that information. So the FBI doesn't do that lightly. My brother, thank you for that $5. They are here and they have already been activated. And that is evident by what happened in New York. But really, brother, not just what happened in New York, but how much things they had. You know, I got to use certain words on YouTube. What's bothering me about New York is how many of those things they had and how many Americans could they have hurt. He said he wanted to hurt more people than the Boston Marathon. They're here, my brother, and they're activated, my brother. And they've already gone through with their first assignment. We have to look at it like that as fathers. We have to look at it like that as good Christians. We have to look at it like that as American men. Chief of Police, after NYPD tackle Islamic ISIS terrorists who tried to attempt to injure Americans.
All right. Who wants to go first? Raise your hand. We'll start over here.
Okay, hi there. Linda Schmidt with Fox 5 News. Thank you guys very much for talking. First of all, 2 things. Number 1, what was going through your mind at that moment? What you see, what happens? And then the other thing is, you hurdle that thing like Power Rangers. So I want you to talk to me about that. So first, what was going through your mind?
At that point, it was all instinct. There wasn't a lot of thought. You know, there was a real threat. There was a real danger there. And, the goal was just to get to it. You know, and just take care of business. So it wasn't a lot of thought going through my mind.
But when you
All right. Who wants to go first? Raise your hand. We'll start over here.
Okay, hi there. Linda Schmidt with Fox 5 News. Thank you guys very much for talking. First of all, 2 things. Number 1, what was going through your mind at that moment? What you see, what happens? And then the other thing is, you hurdle that thing like Power Rangers. So I want you to talk to me about that. So first, what was going through your mind?
At that point, it was all instinct. There wasn't a lot of thought. You know, there was a real threat. There was a real danger there. And, the goal was just to get to it. You know, and just take care of business. So it wasn't a lot of thought going through my mind.
But when you
All right. Who wants to go first? Raise your hand. We'll start over here.
Okay, hi there. Linda Schmidt with Fox 5 News. Thank you guys very much for talking. First of all, 2 things. Number 1, what was going through your mind at that moment? What you see, what happens? And then the other thing is, you hurdle that thing like Power Rangers. So I want you to talk to me about that. So first, what was going through your mind?
At that point, it was all instinct. There wasn't a lot of thought. You know, there was a real threat. There was a real danger there. And, the goal was just to get to it. You know, and just take care of business. So it wasn't a lot of thought going through my mind.
But when you
Thank you to the NYP. We back to blue. Thank you for your service. Thank you to the NYPD officers. Back to blue. These 2 men stopped the individuals. Shout out to Back to Blue. Shout out to the police, man. Thank you for your service. And right now, since we in Iran, I want to thank all the servicemen. Thank you for your service. Anybody with family that happen to be police officers, anybody with family in the service, God bless you. God bless your family members. Thank you for your service. Thank you for your service. We thank you for your service. We thank you for your service. The NYPD chief who was caught on camera chasing down the ISIS-inspired New York City bomb thrower speaks out. Double tap, hit the like button. Here it is, what we've been talking about. When I said to my brother Frank, who sent that $4.99 super chat, what I said to my brother is, they not only here, Frank, they already activated. Double tap, hit the like button.
Just turn around, get
I don't know why you were questioning, brother. I don't know why you were questioning, brother. If the FBI say they could do it, I don't know why you were questioning, brother. I just would be prepared. I don't know why you were questioning, brother. If the FBI say it's coming, I would just be prepared, and I pray for you, brother.
Just turn around,
So it's not, this ain't the crazy part. This ain't the crazy part. The crazy part for me is the details. The crazy part for me is the details behind the case. See it, the two Pennsylvania teenagers crossed into New York City Saturday morning for what could have been a normal day, enjoying the city during abnormally warm weather. But in less than an hour, their lives would drastically change as the pair would be arrested for throwing homemade bombs during an anti-Muslim protest outside of Mayor Zindani's home, where he was known for. Double tap at the like button. Let's take a look at this. More of what happened. These sleeper cells have been activated in America.
We want everyone here to stay in New York. You don't get to come from outside and then tell everyone else.
Did you hear him? Did you hear him? That was the guy who got arrested. He came into the protest and then he pushed the guy and he yelled Allah Akbar while he threw the device.
And we want everyone here to stay in New York. You don't get to come from outside and then tell everyone else. And we want everyone.
And then he threw another one. And then he threw another one. So that was that. This is the first one. This is the second attempt. So they had two devices that day. Do everybody understand that this young man threw two devices? So you just saw him through one. He pushed that white guy down and threw a device and yelled Allah Akbar. This is a second device 2 seconds later. That's device number 2. That's how proficient these groups are. They came to New York from Pennsylvania with 2 separate devices, and I reported there was a car found after the investigation with multiple devices. How many people were they prepared to hurt? They came to New York with 2 devices. That's the second device that was thrown. This is the first device that was thrown by the same guy.
You don't get to come from outside and then tell everyone else.
Same dude. Same dude was able to get off 2 devices. Maybe because all of the propaganda. Maybe because you guys believe the shit on the TV instead of listening to people like me who want you to be safe. Holy shit, they are planning to kill Americans, aren't they? Ted Cruz says the United States is prepared for terrorist attacks from Iranian sleeper cells located in the country. I just want to warn you today. I don't want to have a fight. I don't want to get into partisan rhetoric and shit because they're not going to ask you if you're Republican or Democrat. The bombs don't ask if you're Republican or Democrat.
Are you concerned about sleeper cells? There's been discussion of that.
Look, the risk of terrorism right now is quite high. We tragically saw in Austin, Texas, just last weekend, we saw a terrorist attack. We also saw another terrorist attack in New York City. There is a heightened danger of terrorism right now, and I will say it is particularly indefensible that Democrats have shut down the Department of Homeland Security while we are facing an enhanced terrorist risk.
I mean, come on, man. That's my topic today. We talking about how both of these things are related. We talking about how the Democrats shut down Homeland Security and they're lying to the American people. Oh, we're going to open the government back up. They're not going to open the government back up. They want to dismantle ICE right now. We got FEMA. Homeland Security is supposed to protect the homeland, and we are crippled right now. Man, y'all don't know what's going on, man.
The Department of Homeland Security exists to guard against terrorist attacks. The danger has never been higher than right now, particularly after.
I don't even like Ted Cruz. I don't even like Ted Cruz, and he's spitting some facts, man. I don't even like Ted Cruz, but he's saying some truth right now. Double tap. Ted Cruz kicking the Willy Bobo once in his life.
Are you concerned about sleeper cells? There's been discussion of that.
Look, the risk of terrorism right now is quite high. We tragically saw in Austin, Texas, just last weekend, we saw a terrorist attack. We also saw another terrorist attack in New York City. There is a heightened danger of terrorism right now, and I will say it is particularly indefensible that Democrats have shut down the Department of Homeland Security while we are facing an enhanced terrorist risk. The Department of Homeland Security exists to guard against terrorist attacks. The danger has never been higher than right now, particularly after 4 years of open borders under Joe Biden. We know that radical Islamic terrorists entered this country, and there's a vulnerability all across this country. It is disgraceful and indefensible for the Democrats to vote party line not to fund the Department of Homeland Security right now. We need to open it up and fully fund it.
Got it. Thank you, sir. Are you concerned about sleeper cells? There's been discussion of that.
Look, the risk of terrorism right now is quite high. We tragically saw in Austin, Texas, just last weekend, we saw a terrorist attack. We also saw another terrorist attack in New York City. There is a heightened danger.
Just to give some credence to my brother from another mother, and I didn't do this story because of the sweater. I didn't like the way this story looked, but we got to talk about it now because we got to talk about what's going on in America. We talking about the effects of the Iranian conflict and the domestic effects of the Iranian conflict. Double tap at the like button. Ted Cruz talked about the attack that took place last week in Texas being related to Islamic terrorism on the homeland. Double tap, hit the like button.
Fired bullets into a crowded Austin bar Sunday, sending people scrambling for cover. And the rush to save lives as paramedics perform CPR on the victims. Police say the suspect started shooting out the window of an SUV, aiming a pistol at people on a bar patio. Then they say he got out of the vehicle and started firing with an AR-style rifle. Officers seen here exchanging gunfire with the attacker, killing him at the scene.
Everyone was ducking for cover and just trying to make sure that we were all safe.
Law enforcement identified the suspect as 53-year-old Indiaga Diagne, a naturalized U.S. citizen, originally from Senegal.
Still way too early in the process to determine an exact motivation, but there were indicators that indicate potential nexus to terrorism.
The attack happened just hours after Iran confirmed the death of Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei following U.S. and Israeli airstrikes.
What are investigators doing with the information that they have right now?
Right now, the FBI is looking into his digital life and looking into his associates and relatives. Who is he in contact with?
Just to give you background, last week there was another terrorist attack in America in Texas. I don't know if you heard about it because so much been happening on the news with the Iran. You may not know, but we have to talk about it today as we put in context. FBI warning all police stations on the West Coast that incoming attacks from Iranian drones. We just had an attack in New York, and this was last week in Austin, Texas. Double tap.
Fired bullets into a crowded Austin bar Sunday, sending people scrambling for cover. And the rush to save lives as paramedics perform CPR on the victims. Police say the suspect started shooting out the window of an SUV, aiming a pistol at people on a bar patio. Then they say he got out of the vehicle and started firing with an AR-style rifle. Officers seen here exchanging gunfire with the attacker, killing him at the scene.
Everyone was ducking for cover and just trying to make sure that we were all safe.
Law enforcement identified the suspect as 53-year-old Indiaga Diagne, a naturalized U.S. citizen, originally from Senegal.
Still way too early in the process to determine an exact motivation, but there were indicators that indicate potential nexus to terrorism.
The attack happened just hours after Iran confirmed the death of Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei following.
So, just like with New York, this had to do with the Supreme Leader unaliving, and they have been able to confirm connections to how do we want to say this, jihadists, or what, how do we want to say, radical Muslim. That's how we want to see it.
What are investigators doing with the information that they have right now?
Right now, the FBI is looking into his digital life and looking into his associates and relatives. Who is he in contact with?
So keep in mind, after this and after New York, the FBI, listen to what he, let me just say this again before I say this next part. Listen, I want to play this again before I say this next part. I believe this gives credence to today's episode when we talk about the FBI warning California, and those of you who have asked, well, how would the FBI know? Listen to this.
That they have right now.
Right now, the FBI is looking into his digital life and looking into his associates and relatives. Who is he in contact with?
So I believe the FBI has looked into the digital footprint of both of these attacks in Texas and the attack in New York. And then they went to California and said, California, I think you need to be prepared. I think the FBI did research in Texas. I think the FBI did a digital footprint research on the two young men in Pennsylvania. Now, remember, the young man arrested in New York did not live in New York. They lived in Pennsylvania. They were Afghanistan and Turkey. There are two separate families. One family was an Afghani family. One family was a Turkey family. The two young men were 18 and 19. They were both American citizens, but their parents were not. Their parents say their children have been radicalized by ISIS Muslims recently. My brother John just said, remember China had a lot of control at the port of Los Angeles. They brought the drones through there. Double tap hit the like button. Thank you, John, for that super chat. We talking about today being prepared. We talking about today being prepared. I want to show that because Ted Cruz had mentioned that we have intact in Austin. I don't know how many people in my audience knew about the Austin attack.
Sleeper cells. There's been discussion of that.
Look, the risk of terrorism right now is quite high. We tragically saw in Austin, Texas, just last weekend, we saw a terrorist attack. We also saw another terrorist attack in New York City. There is a heightened danger of terrorism right now, and I will say it is particularly indefensible that Democrats have shut down the Department of Homeland Security while we are facing an enhanced terrorist risk. The Department of Homeland Security exists to guard against terrorist attacks. The danger has never been higher than right now, particularly after 4 years of open borders under Joe Biden. We know that radical Islamic terrorists entered this country, and there's a vulnerability all across this country. It is disgraceful and indefensible for the Democrats to vote party line not to fund the Department of Homeland Security right now. We need to open it up and fully fund it.
Got it. Thank you, sir. Are you concerned about sleeper cells? There's been discussion of that.
Look, the risk of terrorism right now is quite high. We tragically saw in Austin, Texas, just last weekend, We saw a terrorist attack. We also saw another terrorist attack in New York City. There is a heightened danger of terrorism right now, and I will say it is particularly indefensible that Democrats have shut down the Department of Homeland Security while we are facing an enhanced terrorist.
While the world was distracted by the meme war in Iran, the DHS shutdown just hit massive breaking point here at home. We are on day 26. TSA lines have officially hit 5 hours, and there is a coordinated move to dismantle ICE that no one is talking about. Today, we are connecting the dots between global misinformation and domestic collapse happening on our own borders. We now need to worry about sleeper cells in America because of Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, open border policies. Here it is again. Multiple homemade devices have been found by the FBI at the Pennsylvania storage unit linked to the Muslim individuals in NYC. This is insane. Multiple devices. So that day, they threw 2. I am reporting to you that there was a vehicle with multiple devices. Now I can report to you
Kayumi and Emir Balat brought 2.
When they went to their house, they found more.
Thankfully, neither detonated, but
they found more in a storage unit. So what do I extrapolate from this arrest? That they did not make these devices on Monday when we invaded Iran. Can y'all get there? Can we get there? Can we get there as a family? Can we get there as family and friends? Can we get there that they did not make these devices yesterday? Because that's the part where I want to warn everybody. I think that's where everybody can benefit. Can we all agree that these 2 young men did not make all of this stuff yesterday? Because I think that's the best help we can do today. Can we agree that these 2 young men, all of the things that we're learning, everything that they had, that they did not just 18 and 19 years old. When we talk about sleeper cells, when we talk about Austin, Texas, when we talk about California, why my foundation for it being a serious threat is you understanding that these young men did not reach this level of proficiency by themselves. Number one, 18 and 19-year-olds didn't do all this by themselves. Would you agree? Put a 1 in the chat if you agree that these 18 and 19-year-olds were not working alone. Put a 1 in the chat if you agree that these 18 and 19-year-olds were not working alone. Second question. Put a 1 in the chat if you agree that these 18 and 19-year-olds did not reach this level of proficiency since Monday when we invaded Iran. My argument is they have been building up to this, preparing. This is how jihadists work. This is how jihadists work. Islamic jihadists. They believe in the ending of everything. I believe they have been building up and waiting for this opportunity. They were excited. They were happy. They already had these things. It looked like bowling for Columbine, 18-year-old, 19-year-old. They were already ready. They were already ready. They did not assemble these devices on Monday. They were already ready. They didn't acquire the TATP on Monday. They already had it. You know what I would love with FBI investigation? I would love the FBI to come out and tell me, hey, perfect. This is when they got the TATP. This is where they got it from. And this is how long they had it. This is how long they've been planning and waiting. So, because when we find that out, then we can ask, okay, FBI, if they have been waiting for months, how many other groups are like this in America? How many other groups are there who are planning and waiting to injure and hurt and harm Americans? This is the real question. This is the only question. Listen, they found multiple devices at the home.
And Emir Balat brought 2 homemade explosives to an anti-Muslim protest on Saturday. Thankfully, neither detonated, but as you mentioned, more homemade bombs have been found and safely removed from a Pennsylvania storage unit connected to the case. Both suspects are being held without bail after their first appearances in court yesterday on charges that include attempting to provide material support to a foreign terrorist organization and using a weapon of mass destruction. According to a criminal complaint, both men expressed support for ISIS, and one talked about watching ISIS videos.
Younger and younger individuals who are radicalizing and mobilizing to violence. And this is taking place against the backdrop of social media, the dynamics of online culture. It's not limited to ISIS, it's across the ideological spectrum.
Fox News Digital.
Why do they keep doing that? Why do they keep trying to downplay the Muslim aspect? How does that help Americans? Why do they keep downplaying the Muslim aspect? It sounds like when Tim Walz was in Minnesota and dealing with Somali fraud, and Tim Walz kept saying, white men steal too. White men do fraud too. It's not just Somalians. If we're going to arrest Somalians, we need to arrest white men who do fraud. Why did she have to emphasize that it's across the spectrum? I think she wanted to say, like, maybe she wanted to focus on MAGA Republicans or some shit like that. This is sick and sad, bro. What the fuck they got to do with anything?
Ibrahim Qayyumi and Emir Balat brought 2 homemade explosives to an anti-Muslim protest on Saturday. Thankfully, neither detonated, but as you mentioned, more homemade bombs have been found and safely removed from a Pennsylvania storage unit connected to the case. Both suspects are being held without bail after their first appearances in court yesterday on charges that include attempting to...
That's a good question, John. And you gave a couple super chats, so typically I like to let people put the questions in the super chat, but I'm gonna answer your question because you did give a couple super chats, so thank you, brother. John said, question, should the FBI be monitoring mosques right now? Would that be wise? Please answer the question. Salute to you, John. You know, I'm not police, I'm not FBI, so I don't want to tell them how to do their job. I didn't like when the Democrats was telling the armed services how to do their job. One of the examples I used when I did that show with the Seditious Six is, how would you like if someone came in your job, if you frying fries and someone came behind the counter and tried to tell you those fries ain't crispy enough? You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to be so cavalier to say I'm in a position to tell the FBI what to do. You know what I'm saying? What I would do is I suggest to people I care about, like you, John, people that care about me, I would tell people I care about, people I love, to be prepared. Like Frank said earlier, Frank said, I got my food, I got my water. You know, a lot of MAGA Republicans are preppers. So, you know, any loved ones that I have, I would tell them to be prepared. I live in California. So I believe in, I'm a Christian conservative, man. I don't do this for clicks. I know a lot of people be new here. A lot of my viewers are new, but I do this because I'm a Southern Baptist. My grandmother took me to church every Sunday. I went to Sunday school. My grandmother was a nurse and a business owner. She had employees. She paid tithes. So of course she was a Republican because she had business. She had business taxes. She had employees to take care of. She paid tithes. She was a founder at our church. Her tithes paid the pastor's salary, so she understood these things differently. She was a Republican. That's why I'm a Republican. I'm a Christian Southern Baptist conservative. So I would tell people, I would tell people to be prepared, man. You know, I think Don Lemon was wrong. You know what I'm saying? Here on this channel, I know you here, but I think Don Lemon should go to prison for violating the FACE Act. You know, during Biden, American women who were praying in front of abortion clinics went to jail under the FACE Act, and people want to bullshit about Don Lemon. So earlier I was saying, I don't give a fuck if it's a mosque. Don Lemon, if he goes into a mosque, then he should go to fucking jail. So I think we should be prepared, and I don't think we should sacrifice American sensibilities in war. You know, that happens a lot in war and conflict. We do things that are you do things that are anti who you are in war and conflict, you know. And I think we should stay steadfast to the Bill of Rights and the Constitution. I don't think we should start spying on anybody. You know, they did that with the Red Scare. They locked up Japanese. They started spying on people who was communists. And remember that shit? Nah, man. Because it ain't about the mosque. It's about the people. These little 18, 19-year-old pieces of shit, they probably never even went to the mosque. You know what I'm saying? You know how you are when you're young. You have these beliefs, but you lazy in your beliefs. These clowns probably never even went to the mosque. So we would lose. We wouldn't even catch them. If we were being racist and anti-American and we're focused on the mosque instead of the individual, we wouldn't have caught these clowns. These some 18, 19-year-old yahoos. They online. They in video game. They on Signal chat. They in back chat rooms. Remember the shooting in Dallas? Remember the guy who shot at ICE and actually injured the immigrant? He was on back channel. Remember Charlie Kirk? They all were on Signal and back channel apps that disappeared. What's the other one they be on? Snapchat and Signal. They were all on back channel chats. If we would go and look at the mosques, we would miss them. Because they don't go to church, they don't read, they don't believe in God. They use this ideology to commit crime and do heinous things. But I don't see these 18, 19-year-olds as good, devoted Muslims who go to the mosque and pray. Right? We would have missed them. So I say we stay steadfast to our sensibilities, stay steadfast to the Bill of Rights and the Constitution. Don Lemon should go to jail. Don Lemon should go to jail. Don Lemon should be prosecuted for violating the FACE Act and go to jail. We shouldn't be Don Lemon. We should not be Don Lemon. So we got to focus on the individuals. Focus on the internet. Focus on these video games. Focus on these chat rooms. Focus on these Signal, Chat GPT apps. Maybe we got to go to Constitution because, like, nothing was secret when I was a kid. Maybe we got to go and create a law that says no more Signal, no more secret Snapchat that disappear, where you can plan out heinous crimes. But I hope I answered the question, brother. I love you, man, for your support and your donations. He had a follow-up. He said, let's do a prayer for protection from the Lord Jesus Christ. We need his help more than ever. Let's pray. I'm a pastor and I want peace with everybody. Oh, man, I pray that too. Thank you, man, for being here, man. Y'all, you don't know how much that means to me. You don't know how much that means to me, man. Like, you know, this is America, man. I love America, bro. I don't get it messed up. I miss my grandmother. I miss my mother. I reminisce. If sometimes I might go off on a tangent and talk about my grandmother taking me to Sunday school, you know, early one Sunday morning, bow, bow, breakfast was on the table, bow, bow, there was no time to eat. She said to me, boy, hurry to Sunday school. We learned a holy story. Bow, bow. Had me start crying, man. Yeah, it's not easy doing this too, because, you know, a lot of people come in the chat and say mean things, and they don't know I grew up Southern Baptist. They don't know I grew up, you know, I don't know why. I mean, when I see Tim Walz and I hear a lot of this LGBTQ shit, I'm like, would your grandmother vote for this? Like, I don't think I'm the odd one. I think the people that are for the Democratic Socialist left, I think you guys are the odd ones. I just like, you know, the comedians say, who raised you? That's what I'll be wondering. Who raised you? Like, because America is Christian conservative. America. I grew up in not just Democrats, but if you remember, Obama, this is not in the 60s either. This is not in the 60s. Obama said no to gay marriage. So when I say America is Christian conservative, Obama not 1960s. I love doing this because God created me to do this. He's given me talent. I said earlier when I took a break, I said, I am blessed. I am talented. I love my job. I love the position God has elevated me to. When I am saying America is Christian conservative, I'm not saying 19th century. I am saying Barack Obama in his first term said no to gay marriage because America is Christian conservative. Joe Biden said, they said all we would do is what did they say? Joe Biden said, fuck no. And he said, we might do, what did they do before gay marriage? What did Biden and Obama say, Joe Obama? What did Joe Obama say? What did they say? Joe Obama eventually said, I'm for unions, civil union. What did he call it? I forget the fucking name, but it wasn't gay marriage. Obama had to be pushed to gay marriage. Does anyone remember that? Does anyone remember Obama had to be pushed to gay marriage? Don't ask, don't tell. He said, I'm for civil unions, right? When pushed on it, Joe Biden and Obama said, no, on gay marriage, we can do civil unions. Who remembers that? That's 2008. That's recent times. Biden was just the president. You don't have to go to the 60s. When I say why I'm Republican, when I say America was Christian conservative, America, my whole life, I grew up in the country. I'm surprised at some of this liberal shit. I'm surprised. I don't know why you come to my chat and you're surprised that a black man is. I'm surprised. Where did you motherfuckers come from? I want to know, did you come off a motherfucking liberal tree? Because just in 2008, Obama deported more people than Trump. Just in 2008, Obama said no to gay marriage. I grew up in a Christian conservative country, right and left, Democrat and Republican. I know you hate me. I know you hate me. I do so good at this. I do so good at this. I do so good at this. I support my arguments, man. We are in a Christian conservative country, and to support my arguments, we have been taken over by the socialist left. We are a center-right country, and to support my argument, I only have to point to your Barack Obama, your black Wakanda king, your black mama, your black mamba, your black Wakanda, the Black Panther, hope and change. I am so in love with you. I don't even have to go to the 60s. I can go back to your black king. He said no to gay marriage. He didn't think he could pass it because in 2008, it was obviously hella clear America is center-right in a Christian conservative country, and they are not pro-gay marriage. As of 2008, gay marriage failed in California. Y'all don't ever want to have an honest talk. Gay marriage failed in California. In modern times, abortion, gone. Abortion, gone. Abortion, gone. I'm not making it up. Christian, conservative, center-right, abortion, gone. Does anybody come in my chat? Every day we have bullshit trolls in my chat. Does anyone ever say, I want federal abortion? Does anyone ever say, bring abortion back? Abortion. No one says it. No one says it. No one says it. It's not the black guy with the tight eyes and the loud voice. Everything I'm saying is fucking just true. It's not bipartisan. It's not Democrat. It's not Republican. We are center-right. We are Christian conservative. Abortion's gone, and no one brings it up. No one's upset. Do you know why? Because we're center-right. We're center-right. We're not socialist left. We're not Zorani Mandani. That's why Kamala lost. Hello, hello, Dolly. Hello, Dolly. We're center-right. Even after I say this, no one is going to make a TikTok begging for national abortion. No campaign in 2026. No Democrat is running on nationalizing abortion. Don't you hate when I'm right? Don't you hate when I have a fact that's irrefutable? They hate when I'm right. They hate when I'm right. Because intelligent people will, next week, they'll scan YouTube, they'll scan the internet, and they'll be looking. You know, Perfect talked about abortion. I'm going to see. Is any of these Democrat liberals talking about abortion? Is any of these Democrat liberals running on national? Nope. You're not going to see it. You're not going to see it. You can call me names. You can troll me. You can do. These facts are irrefutable. You're not going to see it. Jasmine. Trump news, Trump news, Trump news, giving Democrats the boo-hoo-hoo blues, giving Democrats the boo-hoo-hoo blues. Jasmine Crockett, that was hilarious comment. I love you for that, boy. I love you for that, boy. Jasmine Crockett. Ah, shit. Sleeper cells, wake up, America. FBI calls police in California, preparing them and warning them for incoming sleeper cell attacks.
Ibrahim Qayyumi and Emir Balat brought 2 homemade explosives to an anti-Muslim protest on Saturday. Thankfully, neither detonated, but as you mentioned, more homemade bombs have been found and safely removed from a Pennsylvania storage unit connected to the case. Both suspects are being held without bail after their first appearances in court yesterday on charges that include attempting to provide material support to a foreign terrorist organization and using a weapon of mass destruction. According to a criminal complaint, both men expressed support for ISIS, and one talked about watching ISIS videos.
Younger and younger individuals who are radicalizing and mobilizing to violence. And this is taking place against the backdrop of social media, the dynamics of online culture. It's not limited to ISIS, it's across the ideological spectrum.
Fox News Digital captured these photos of the suspects' homes, both located in Philadelphia suburbs, roughly 15 minutes apart. The suspects are U.S. citizens, but their parents are naturalized U.S. citizens from the Middle East. An attorney for one of the suspects,
like Ilhan Omar. Yo, we got to look into that naturalization shit. So they citizens, but their parents are naturalized. Ain't that how Ilhan Omar ended up in Congress? Her father naturalized, but we can't find the paperwork now. Y'all hear this?
Suspects' homes, both located in Philadelphia suburbs, roughly 15 minutes apart.
This is where they live, in the Philadelphia suburb. They live better than most Americans. Isn't it funny how these people live better than most Americans and they don't appreciate their American citizenship? So you're an American citizen that's been gifted to you because your parents were naturalized. None of y'all motherfuckers should be American. You got this gift of American citizenship, and this what the fuck you do that it should be more difficult to become an American because people don't appreciate this gift. Look at these homes. These are mega monolith mini mansions. These look like 3-story, 5-bedroom homes. Why are they upset? 3-story, 5-bedroom homes. You have a great life. Why are they upset? What are they mad about? I wonder this a lot with these purple hair protesters. What the fuck? And did you hear, hey, Frank, John, did you hear the part where she said that they were radicalized by videos online? That goes back to us trying to focus and be racist and going to mosques. It's not about mosques. It's not even about Islam. That's why I started with educating my audience on the difference between Shia and Sunni. If we focus and be racist like the Democrats, then we gonna fuck up. If we be racist like the Democrats, then we lose. It's not about Muslim. It's not about Muslim hate. It's never been about Muslims and Muslim hate. We can't do what Democrats do. There's a difference between Shia and Sunni. We need to educate Americans on this difference between Shia and Sunni and what the Shia believe, and educate Americans that all Muslims do not believe the same thing and all Muslims do not want the same outcomes as the Shia. We don't have to demonize Islam. We don't have to demonize all Muslims. We're better than that. We're more intelligent than that.
Suspects are U.S. citizens, but their parents are naturalized U.S. citizens from the Middle East. An attorney for one of the suspects tried to suggest yesterday that the two co-defendants were strangers to each other. Both men are due back in court early next month. Martha.
Both men are due back in court early next month. Both men are due back in court early next month. Sleeper cells, government shutdown, brand new video on my chat. Look at this beautiful house, man. Parents are allegedly ISIS-loving NYC bomber on a 2.5 Pennsylvania home are naturalized citizens from Afghanistan. $2.5 million home. And this is what they do with this life in America. Unbelievable. You can't make this up, man. $2.5 million home. Breaking, the two CNN journalists who wrote and approved a sympathetic article on attempted Islamic incident in New York, downplaying the incident and romanticizing the two attackers, have been identified as Taylor Rami, and I'm not gonna say their names, both liberal women. Double tap.
We were born and raised in New York, and we want everyone here to stay in New York. You don't get to come from outside and then tell everyone else.
It's another angle. Remember I said that's the same guy, and he had threw two devices there his face. So now everybody can see the same young man, 18-year-old Ibrahim, has thrown through two devices that day. They found more in the car and more in the storage facility at home. I've argued that these sleeper cells have been here for some time and have been activated. My evidence is the multiple up to now, let's say up to 5 devices, maybe more, found with these young men.
We were born and raised in New York.
Let me read what it says. 2 Pennsylvania teenagers crossed into New York City Saturday morning for what could have been a normal day. Oh, that's when they wrote that. I read that earlier. That's the chief. This is the NYPD police chief. He jumped the fence.
In that moment,
and he tackled
from one type.
He jumped the fence and he tackled the individual with the device. Back to blue. Support our police. Support our police. We stand with you. Thank you for your service, Chief. Hey, Chief, this is a black Republican, a black American. I know they tell you that black people don't support police, don't love police officers. That's bullshit, Chief. We love you. Thank you for protecting American citizens. Thank you for your hard work. Thank you for your sacrifices. Thank you for your service. Thank you to all police officers, all of our Army, Navy, all of our military. Thank you. We love you. Thank you for your service.
In that moment, we had to pivot from one type of policing to a different type of policing. And I think the way that we transitioned was really good. In terms of going viral, first off, I'm happy that I cleared that barrier. Okay, imagine if I fell. But to me, it was just instant. I'm trying to get the bad guy. I was in real pursuit trying to get him. And just the picture going viral. I don't want that picture to be about me. I want it to be about the day. I want it to be about what we did. I want that picture to be a reminder to New Yorkers that, your cops, the members of the NYPD, we're going to be relentless in pursuing justice, right? And there's going to be no obstacles. Nothing's going to stand in our way from protecting New Yorkers. In that moment, you know.
Shout out to the New York PD. Shout out to you. Double tap it. Shout out to you for being a great officer, man, and putting your life on the line, man. We appreciate that. We solely appreciate that. Now, remember, while we reporting this, the FBI has sent warnings to California saying, be prepared that sleeper cells want to attack California by drones. 2 Pennsylvania teenagers crossed into New York Saturday morning. That's that empathetic article. Just in, officers are furious when Ugandan Mayor Madani for snubbing a heroic NYPD chief who lunged over barricades to detain Muslim incident and instead hosting a pro-Palestinian forum for dinner.
Say Mayor Zoran Mamdani should have had that chief over for dinner, not anti-Israel activist Mahmoud Khalil, who came over to the governor's or the mayor's mansion for a Ramadan dinner the other night. Khalil, for people watching, wondering who that is, he's a Columbia grad we used to see on protest duty all the time. He's fighting a federal deportation case after the White House says he supported Hamas during those protests, which he denies. Back out here live, a lot to this story, a lot going on with the media coverage. So we'll keep an eye on it. We know both suspects, Shannon, will be back in court next month.
Yeah.
So think about, I brought this up before. Think about the pro-Palestine protest. Think about everything I've taught you. Think about everything I've taught you. Think about everything you learned here. And now go back in time in your time machine and go back to a time when we had Palestine protests on college campuses. Now, remember what I taught you about Joe Biden leaving Afghanistan, emboldening the Iranian proxies to commit violence against America and Israel, leading up to October 7th in 2023, where Palestine and Gaza attacked Israel, not the other way around. After all this violence, after they refused to do a peace agreement, after they refused to stop enriching uranium, remember, that's what the Vienna conference, remember what I started off telling you. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris failed to get a peace agreement with Iran in Vienna at the beginning of their administration. I said, and then Biden left Afghanistan in an embarrassing tail between his legs. I argued that emboldened Iran proxies. And Iran began attacking America and Israel, and that softened up until they were bold enough to attack on October 7th. That's been my argument the whole time. That's been my argument the whole time.
Deportation case after the White House.
So now think back to when college campuses and your children were being pro-Palestine. Hey, we're pro-Palestine. We're pro-Gaza, even though they didn't know what a proxy was, even though they didn't know when they were in Columbia, just go back in time to those protests. Think about Columbia, think about NYPD, think about NYU and all those college campuses where white Americans were protesting. Democratic, purple-haired protester, socialist left Americans were on the side of the attackers. See, they believed that it was all Israel bad. Bibi Netanyahu, Jeffrey Epstein had sex with a girl. Men have sex with girls, by the way. Bibi Netanyahu. But instead of the truth that Biden left Afghanistan like a coward, that Biden failed to get peace and uranium depletion in Iran, that led to upticks in proxy violence. That led to October 7th. There's a through line from Biden to how we got here. There's a through line from Biden to how we got here. So when you think back to Palestine, and I just think back to all of those American colleges supporting Gaza and Palestine, like, hey, isn't it fucked up that the Democratic liberal media didn't educate our American students to tell them, hey, Gaza attacked Israel. Gaza attacked Israel. Hamas attacked Israel. Hamas is an Iranian proxy. They've been given $300 million by Iran. Hezbollah is an Iranian proxy. They attacked Israel on October 8th. They've been given $700 million by Iran, and they have 100,000 ballistic missiles given to them by Iran. The Houthis have drones and ballistic missiles given to them by Iran. They attacked the Red Sea and shut down shipping to show how proficient they are with their ballistic missiles and drones. The Houthis. So when you're on your college campus and you're pro-Palestine, do you know that you're actually pro-Iran, pro-Hamas, pro-Houthis, pro-Hezbollah, pro-Jihadist Islamic people who kill gay people, who kill women for dancing on TikTok? Do college Americans know what they're supporting? Just think back to pro-Palestine protests, pro-Gaza protests. Think about what I've taught you. Even now, I love Candace Owens. You know I love Candace Owens. I love Charlie Kirk. But Candace Owens is wrong on Israel. Candace Owens is wrong on Iran. I'm not pro-Palestine. I'm not pro-Gaza. We're not pro-Gaza. We're not pro. We understand what happened in 1979. This is why I pray. My prayers, you guys are truly learning. This is why I am teaching you between Shia and Sunni and what the Ayatollah Khomeini politically promised when he came to power in 1979. Do you see how perverted it was for this is linked to black content creators who are trending today, making jokes that Iran made a video to black Americans saying black Americans don't need to worry. Today, I'm doing my broadcast to say to black Americans, we have sleeper cells and they're going to attack us with drones. The sleeper cells and the drones don't care what race, don't care what color your skin is. So stop believing that bullshit from Iran. You think you see the black content creators think it's a video game. You know how people talk shit on Instagram and think nothing's ever going to happen? How surprised are black content creators who made those stupid ass videos gonna be when bombs start exploding in America? And you gonna make a video saying, Iran, I thought we was cool. Iran, I thought we was cool. Iran don't give a fuck about you. Iran don't care about black people in America. I don't know why the fuck you thought that was funny. That's not funny. To empathize with Iran. You know how ignorant that is? To empathize with Gaza, to empathize with Palestine. To me, it's just like empathizing with anybody who came across the border in 2022. Like the Democrat socialist left want you to empathize with Venezuelans. And next thing you know, we have cartel and we have an 85-year-old woman kidnapped. They want you to empathize with immigrants who came across because Biden opened the border, and next thing you know, we have $19 billion in Somali fraud. But the socialist left tell you, hey, it's America. Everybody gets to come here. No, Trump said it in his speech. We have Somalian pirates, and when they open the border, you're supposed to pick who you let in. Because if you let in people from the wrong cultural background, they will do things like steal $19 billion during COVID. They will use autistic kids. They will use children daycares. They will use fake meals to steal billions of dollars if you let the wrong people in because they have a fucked up cultural background. I love my President Trump. I love my President Trump. You can't just let in everybody. And they kidnap an 85-year-old white woman in fucking Arizona. Anybody new here? I already solved the Nancy Guthrie case. You can go watch my videos. I already solved the Nancy Guthrie case. Did you guys know I solved the Nancy Guthrie case? I called the FBI, I called TMZ, and I told them Nancy Guthrie was kidnapped by SATGs, South American theft groups. Put it in the chat right now. South American theft groups, SATGs. I solved the Nancy Guthrie case. Call the FBI, Call TMZ, tag TMZ. I solved the Nancy Guthrie case. It directly relates to the sleeper cells. It directly relates to everything I am talking about right now. To Somalian pirates, they have a different cultural background. They didn't think anything was wrong with stealing billions of dollars and using children, using autism. Fucking pirates, bro. They didn't give a fuck. They use autism. Well, who kidnaps an 85-year-old woman? Well, I did a report on South American theft groups who target high-profile clients. They robbed NBA players in multiple states. They robbed Karen Bass in Los Angeles. I say they knew Nancy Guthrie's daughter was Savannah Guthrie, which is why they asked for $6 million. They target they use signal jammers. They break into homes and use signal jammers to block home security and police scanners. It took 41 minutes to get Nancy Guthrie at the home. Why am I bringing this up? Because I argue that a white boy or a black boy like me, we would never kidnap an 85-year-old white woman. This is a different cultural background, just like the Somalian pirates. Black people, white people, we would never steal from autistic children. It's just not in our FBI not looking for us doing that. We could laugh, put on a laugh track. FBI not looking for us doing it. When black people and white people kidnap, we get caught. When black people and white people try to kidnap, we fuck it up every time. Who you know did a successful kidnapping in America? Nobody. If you know your uncle tried to kidnap somebody, you're going to get on the phone and say, what you trying to kidnap? We don't kidnap. Americans don't kidnap, and we don't kidnap successfully. Every story you heard about an American kidnapping goes left. But what do you know about kidnapping as it relates to the cartel? Latin America, South American theft groups, TDA, Trenta de Agua. Well, when you look up cartels, when you look up South America, when you look up TDA, Trenta de Agua in the FBI database, and you look at, hey, FBI, what is the modus operandi of TDA cartels? What is the modus operandi of New Generation Jalisco cartel? You know what it says? Oh, perfect. They like to do extortion. Oh, what else? They like to do extortion and kidnapping for ransom. Is that right? Everybody right now has a cell phone. Go to your cell phone right now. Go to your Apple phone. Look it up. Trenta de Agua, Venezuelan cartel. Look it up. New Generation Jalisco, El Mancho. Look it up. South American car. What do they do? What is their modus operandi? What type of crimes? What type of 6'7"? 6'7". It's going to tell you. They do extortion and kidnapping for ransom. When Trenta de Agua came to Aurora, Colorado, what did they do? They took over apartment complexes and extorted the black people, kidnapping. When Trenta de Agua Venezuelan cartel came to Chicago, what did they do? They took over apartment complexes, extortion and kidnapping for ransom. I believe Nancy Guthrie suffered just like in Minnesota. The Somalian pirates have a different cultural background. They didn't see anything wrong with stealing from kids. I believe what happened to Nancy Guthrie is someone from a different cultural background who didn't give a fuck about kidnapping, and especially kidnapping an 85-year-old white woman. And Nancy Guthrie is gone. She never coming back, bro. South American theft group, people who deal in kidnap, who deal in ransom. You know what else supports my argument? The inability of the FBI to follow the digital footprint of the kidnappers. If the kidnappers are American, which you may not know unless you watch my show, the FBI already arrested somebody in Southern California who tried to lie and get the ransom because they were able to follow his IP, his VPN. Well, the kidnappers, the FBI cannot trace their digital footprint. Does anyone know why? Does anyone know why the FBI can't trace their digital footprint? Huh? It's because they're not American. You know how Africans fish your grandmother? You know how African fish your grandmother, and you can't, they email your grandmother for money. It's called phishing. But we can't arrest them because it's almost impossible to track the IP address. The people who kidnapped Nancy Guthrie have sent multiple emails and have a crypto wallet that's untraceable. They can't trace the emails. They can't trace the crypto wallet. These are international criminals. I solved the case. I solved the case. That's it. I solved the case. That's it. I solved the case. Double tap hit the like button. Double tap hit the like button. That's that right there. Somebody said they have no reason to attack the West Coast. You didn't hear, I know you just got here, right? She said they would have no reason to attack the West Coast. They are attacking in retaliation. The FBI warned police departments in California that Iran wants to retaliate for American attacks by launching offensive drones against the West Coast, according to an alert reviewed by ABC News. That's what it is. They are in retaliation. This is in retaliation. This is a news report. This is not the black guy on YouTube. I know you guys come here. Some of you guys are new. I know some of you guys are new. And you come here and you just want to say something stupid. You obviously should have been here and asked somebody. Ask about me. Ask about me. Ask about me because I'll block your bitch ass. Ask about me. Ask about me. I will block your bitch ass. And I will roast your bitch ass for saying something stupid. Right? You don't know what the fuck you talking about, Miss Shell. Here's the report right here, dum-dum. And I'm supporting my argument by the attacks in New York and the attacks in Texas. Why would they attack us in New York? Why would they attack us in Texas, dum-dum? And I'm not blocking your ass yet, dum-dum, because I want to roast you first. But I'm going to block your bitch ass after I get done roasting your dumb ass. Double tap hit the like button.
Gunmen fired bullets into a crowded Austin bar Sunday, sending people scrambling for cover. And the rush to save lives as paramedics perform CPR on the victims. Police say the suspect started shooting out the window of an SUV, aiming a pistol at people on a bar patio. Then they say he got out of the vehicle and started firing with an AR-style rifle. Officers seen here exchanging gunfire with the attacker, killing him at the scene.
Everyone was ducking for cover and just trying to make sure that we were all safe.
Law enforcement identified the suspect as 53-year-old Indiaga Diagne, a naturalized U.S. citizen, originally from Senegal.
Still way too early in the process to determine an exact motivation, but there were indicators that indicate potential nexus to terrorism.
The attack happened just hours after Iran confirmed the death of Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei following U.S. and Israeli airstrikes.
What are investigators doing with the information that they have right now?
Right now, the FBI is looking into his digital life and looking into his associates and relatives. Who is he in contact with?
Who is he in contact with? I believe that's how the FBI came up with this assessment to share with California. After this attack in Austin, after the attack in New York, that's when the FBI had confidence to go ahead and tell California, yeah, we can confidently say there are a number of these Iranian sleeper cells and we need to be prepared. And I think that's just fucking responsible. Double tap it the like button.
Bullets into a...
This right here is last week. Remember you saw the black man with the t-shirt that said, it was a black man with a t-shirt that said, it was a black man with a t-shirt that said property of Allah. Y'all remember that? This happened last week. Senator Ted Cruz brought it up. So I wanted to show people. And then there's a dummy in my chat saying, why would they do that? Why would they do this? Why would they do 9/11? Austin, Texas, last week.
Shooter Nijaga Diagne armed with an AR-15 rifle. The video was captured by a parked car. Austin police released the footage along with officer body cam videos from the shooting that left 3 young people dead and 15 others injured on March 1st. When police arrived on the scene, people were seen running erratically as the suspect fired into a crowd of people outside a popular bar. As officers raced toward West 6th Street, you can hear them shouting, "Where is it?" as bystanders point them in the direction of the shooter. The body cam videos also show officers rushing toward the gunman, where a barrage of shots is exchanged, ending with the suspect on the ground.
Just to show last week, just to show that we have, the violence is here. The violence is here. The violence is here.
The Austin Police Department has identified 3 victims in that fatal mass shooting at this bar behind us here in Texas over the weekend. Officials say that 19-year-old Ryder Harrington and 21-year-old Savida Shan, 2 Texas college students, were killed during that mass shooting. Additionally, officials just revealed that Jorge Pedersen, a 30-year-old Texas resident, was also killed. And the young age of the victims really does underscore and illustrate the tragic nature of what unfolded here over the weekend. I was actually out that night with a CBS News colleague to grab a few drinks, and we saw hundreds of people, most of them young, most of them college students, out celebrating, grabbing drinks with friends, and dancing. And in a matter of hours, that situation took a really sharp and tragic turn for the worse.
Breaking news being reported here, man. It is no joke what's going on right now in America. So when I say, and I give a warning, this ain't something to troll me in the chat. I live in California, Michelle. So this is what I'm basing this show on. These things, I'm mathematically doing this. I'm not just doing this to be doing this. FBI warns police in California that Iran wants to retaliate for U.S. attacks by launching drones against West Coast, according to an alert reviewed by ABC News. But it's not just this report. I believe the FBI got some evidence from when they looked at the digital footprint of the Austin shooter and the individuals in Philadelphia who traveled all to New York. This right here is what we're talking about. Drones. Mamdani responding to the attack in New York. Zarani.
This was a vile protest rooted in white supremacy entitled "Stop the Islamic Takeover of New York."
White supremacy. He decided to focus on white supremacy. If everybody asking, how is this happening? Why is this happening? Do you think this is going to happen again? Listen to the Democrat socialist left. This is his response to these gentlemen being found with multiple devices with them on their person and in their home.
This was a vile protest rooted in white supremacy entitled "Stop the Islamic Takeover of New York City." I'm the first Muslim mayor of our city. Anti-Muslim bigotry is nothing new to me, nor is it anything new for the 1 million or so Muslim New Yorkers who know this city as our home. While I found this protest appalling, I will not waver in my belief that it should be allowed to happen. Ours is a free society where the right to peaceful protest is sacred. It does not belong only to those we agree with. It belongs to everyone. I will defend that right every day that I am mayor, even when those protesting say things that I abhor. Let me also be clear about something else. New York City will never tolerate violence, whether from protests or counter-protests. Many of the counter-protesters met this display of bigotry peacefully, with a vision of a city that is welcoming to all. But a few did not. 2 men, Amir Balat and Ibrahim Kayumi, traveled from Pennsylvania and attempted to bring violence to New York City. They are suspected of coming here to commit an act of terrorism. There is video of these 2 individuals throwing 2 devices towards the protest. The police department has determined that these were improvised explosive devices made to injure, maim, or worse. Thanks to the swift and decisive actions of NYPD officers at the scene, both men were immediately taken into custody and the devices they brought taken off of our streets. I want to commend the officers who were on site.
Zarani, the Marani, Mundani, blaming the proliferation of Islamic violence on white supremacy. You can't make this shit up.
This was a vile protest rooted in white supremacy entitled Stop the Islamic Takeover of New York City. I'm the first Muslim mayor of our city. Anti-Muslim bigotry is nothing new to me, nor is it anything new for the 1 million or so Muslim New Yorkers who know this city as our home. While I found this protest appalling, I will not waver in my belief that it should be allowed to happen. Ours is a free society where the right to peaceful protest is sacred. It does not belong only to those we agree with. It belongs to everyone. I will defend that right every day that I am mayor, even when those protesting say things that I abhor. Let me also be clear about something else. New York City will never tolerate violence, whether from protests or counter-protests. Many of the counter-protesters met this. Two men, Amir Balat and Ibrahim Kayumi, traveled from Pennsylvania and attempted to bring violence to New York City. They are suspected of coming here to commit an act of terrorism. There is video of these two individuals throwing two devices towards the protest. The police department has determined that these were improvised explosive devices made to injure, maim, or worse.
You know what he didn't say? Hey, chat, put a one in the chat. Do you hear him say Islamic terrorists, Islamic jihadists, Islamic Shia? These young men admitted to be radicalized by ISIS, a terroristic jihadist version of Islam. He didn't say once he had a Ramadan dinner in his house. Does he not acknowledge the separation between Shia and Sunni? Is he a Shia Muslim? Why did he not call out Islamic supremacy? Why did he not call out the Shia, the jihadists? That's some real shit. As a Muslim, why are you misleading the people and saying they came here as terrorists? What kind of terrorists? They were jihadists, Muslim jihadists. That fucking matters, Madani. They weren't just everyday fucking terrorists. They believe in jihad. All infidels, Americans, and Israelis need to die.
Traveled from Pennsylvania and attempted to bring violence to New York City. They are suspected of coming here to commit an act of terrorism. There is video of these two individuals throwing two devices towards the protest. The police department has determined that these were improvised explosive devices made to injure, maim, or worse. Thanks to the swift and decisive actions of NYPD officers at the scene, both men were immediately taken into custody and the devices they brought taken off of our streets. I want to commend the officers who were on site.
And it's like he made light of the situation, said they were caught and the devices taken off of our streets. That's not solely true. That's not the extent. More devices were found at the home. More devices were found down the street. You guys had to shut down a park. Why is he downplaying the severity of this event, how serious and how dangerous this could have been? Why not be honest about how many people could have gotten hurt? This, just to tee this video up, this is NY the same day they had to shut down a park because they suspected more TATP.
Inside a Gracie mansion here in New York City. CB, what are we learning?
Hey, Sandra. Well, we are here in New York City's Upper East Side neighborhood. We're actually a couple blocks down from Gracie Mansion, which, yes, is the home of New York City Mayor Zohran Mamdani. Right now, officers are investigating a suspicious device that was found in a popular park nearby called Carl Schurz. We've seen officers block off this area to traffic, and we've got members of the NYPD bomb squad and another command unit that are out here. Again, a suspicious device was located in a nearby park. Someone called it in. I'm told this by a police source, and now officers are investigating. No one is being allowed to drive through this area. And we've also seen, we've also noticed that officers have bomb sniffing dogs that are moving through this area on side streets, going by homes just to look and see whether anything suspicious is uncovered. Obviously, this comes at a very heightened time for people who live in this area, because we know a terrorism investigation is underway after the FBI says 2 suspects brought homemade bombs to an anti-Muslim protest in New York City on Saturday. Thankfully, neither detonated, but police have said one of them could have caused a devastating loss of life because it contained a substance called TATP. We also know the investigation.
Did y'all hear that? California on high alert. They shut down a park in New York. For everybody like, oh, this can't happen. No, this is severe. We at war. Double tap hit the like button.
Iranian drone attacks on our homeland. A new alert reviewed by ABC News revealing Iran's aspirations to conduct a surprise attack specifically against unspecified targets in California. The FBI saying it's warned police departments across the Golden State now of strikes by unmanned aerial vehicles or drones as tensions rise in the Middle East. Let's get straight to our chief investigative correspondent, Aaron Kontersky. Aaron, what are you learning?
We've reviewed an alert that came within the last couple of weeks, Kira, just recently from the FBI to law enforcement agencies up and down the California coastline, warning that Iran is aspiring now to perhaps launch some kind of a retaliatory attack on the U.S. mainland using drones on the West Coast. The alert that we reviewed said an uncorroborated report suggested that unidentified Mexican cartel leaders had authorized attacks using drones carrying explosives, so they know that capability exists. And this separate alert that we've reviewed, Kira, says that Iran has those same kinds of aspirations. So the U.S. has broadly known for some time that drones could be deployed against the homeland. We know that Iran has been using drones significantly in this 12-day-old war with the United States. That's what killed the first 6 U.S. service members in this war. But now the FBI is specifically warning police agencies in California along the Pacific coastline that Iran is aspiring to use them to attack in the West.
Breaking news, breaking news, breaking news. FBI reports drone attacks in the West Coast.
Iranian drone attacks on our homeland. A new alert reviewed by ABC News revealing Iran's aspirations to conduct a surprise attack specifically against unspecified targets in California. The FBI saying it's warned police departments across the Golden State now of strikes by unmanned aerial vehicles or drones as tensions rise in the Middle East. Let's get straight to our chief investigative correspondent, Aaron Kontersky. Aaron, what are you learning?
We've reviewed an alert that came within the last couple of weeks, Kira, just recently from the FBI to law enforcement agencies up and down the California coastline, warning that Iran is aspiring now to perhaps launch some kind of a retaliatory attack on the U.S. mainland using drones on the West Coast. The alert that we reviewed said an uncorroborated report suggested that unidentified Mexican cartel leaders had authorized attacks using drones carrying explosives, so they know that capability exists. And this separate alert that we've reviewed, Kira, says that Iran has those.
So an uncorroborated report suggested that unidentified Mexican cartel leaders had authorized attacks using UAS drones carrying explosives against U.S. law enforcement and U.S. military personnel along the U.S.-Mexico border. So Iran, my chat was wondering how they would do that, so they would work with the cartels. Now, doesn't that bode even more well for Trump and going into Venezuela? Because remember what Maria said, Maria, who won the Nobel Peace Prize, who gave it to Trump, she said that Venezuela had already been taken over by Hezbollah, Hamas, and foreign entities who they were trading oil for training and weapons. So Iran's proxies were already in South America and Venezuela. Iran was already getting oil from Venezuela. So now this is why another reason why Trump shut down Venezuela. That was a back door. That was a back door that was left open by the Biden administration. Double tap, hit the like button. Double tap, hit the like button. Drones, sleeper cells, California warning, 911, let's go.
Iranian drone attacks on our homeland. A new alert reviewed by ABC News revealing Iran's aspirations to conduct a surprise attack specifically against unspecified targets in California. The FBI saying it's warned police departments across the Golden State now of strikes by unmanned aerial vehicles or drones as tensions rise in the Middle East. Let's get straight to our chief investigative correspondent, Aaron Kontersky. Aaron, what are you learning?
We've reviewed an alert that came within the last couple of weeks, Kira, just recently from the FBI to law enforcement agencies up and down the California coastline, warning that Iran is aspiring now to perhaps launch some kind of a retaliatory attack on the U.S. mainland using drones on the West Coast. The alert that we reviewed said an uncorroborated report suggested that unidentified Mexican cartel leaders had authorized attacks using drones carrying explosives, so they know that capability exists. And this separate alert that we've reviewed, Kira, says that Iran has those same kinds of aspirations. So the U.S. has broadly known for some time that drones could be deployed against the homeland. We know that Iran has been using drones significantly in this 12-day-old war with the United States. That's what killed the first 6 U.S. service members in this war. But now the FBI is specifically warning police agencies in California along the Pacific coastline that Iran is aspiring to use them to attack in the West.
Bridge, you did it again, man. Thank you so much, man. Shout out to Bridge, man. Thank you so much. She just gifted out 10 memberships. That's so dope. Man. Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much. Means so much. Double tap hit the like button, everybody. Make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe, man. That's my girl Bridge right there, man. I really appreciate that, man. That means so much. That means so much, you guys. Let's keep going with the shutdown information. Y'all know it's after 5 o'clock, and my wife and my kids is going to be coming home any second, and I did not take anything out for dinner. Let's get into it real quick. Let's get into this shutdown information, man. Let's get into this shutdown.
Are you talking to CEOs of various oil companies, encouraging them to use the Strait of Hormuz? Yeah, I think they should. I think they should. I think they should use the Strait. In my opinion, look, we took out just about all of their mine ships in one night. We're up to boat number 60. I didn't realize that big a Navy. I would say it was big and ineffective. But every one of their ships, just about all of their Navy is gone. It's bottom of the sea. Are you talking to CEOs of various oil companies, encouraging them to use the Strait of Hormuz? Yeah, I think they should. I think they should. I think they should use the Strait. In my opinion, look, we took out just about all of their mine ships in one night. We're up to boat number 60. I didn't realize that big a Navy. I would say it was big and ineffective. But every one of their ships, just about all of their Navy is gone. It's bottom of the sea.
That was Trump on the Straits of Hormuz and ships going through to get the oil prices back down. Like I reported, oil prices had hit $120. I ain't got to tell you that. You guys buy gas. Your wife and your kids come to you for Starbucks and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Daddy, you gotta get some Starbucks. Can you send me an Uber? Can you know what I'm saying? So you know the price of gas has gone up. You've seen it at the pump. You felt the pain at the pump. Now Trump was able to negotiate some things to get the price of barrel back down to $77 a barrel. It skyrocketed at $120. But now Trump is saying that we got people who will escort the tanker ships through the Straits of Hormuz. We want to keep it open. And France and Macron has sent naval ships to help escort tanker ships through the Straits of Hormuz. Trump has also said to people with insurance worries that America is willing to back the insurance to get the oil tanker, to get the oil barrel prices back down. He knows about the pain you're feeling at the pump. This is more on DHS Shutdown during a global conflict. #1 podcast on YouTube. Double tap at the like button.
Well, what is the White House's message to the American people that are struggling because they're not getting that paycheck? It's take away the politics. What do you have to say to those people?
President Trump wants the Department of Homeland Security. He wants TSA. He wants FEMA. He wants the brave men and women of our United States Coast Guard to receive their paychecks. And he wants this department to be fully.
We want them to receive their paychecks. Amen. Amen. Amen.
Well, what is the White House's message to the American people that are struggling because they're not getting that paycheck? It's take away the politics. What do you have to say to those people?
President Trump wants the Department of Homeland Security. He wants TSA. He wants FEMA. He wants the brave men and women of our United States Coast Guard to receive their paychecks. And he wants this department to be fully funded and fully reopened. And so to any American out there who is struggling without a paycheck, we know there's more than 100,000 of you across the country. To any American out there who is showing up to an airport and facing incredibly long wait times and lines, call your Democrat member of Congress and tell them to fund the Department of Homeland Security. That's what President Trump wants to do. And it's completely ridiculous that the American people are suffering as a result of these partisan games that are being played by Democrats on Capitol Hill. Thank you.
I love her. I love her. She does a good job, man. I love her. She does a good. Well, what do the Democrats want, huh? What do the Democrats want, huh? Check this out. Pure robbery. That's what the Democrats want. What do the Democrats want? How many? Now, remember, when we went to Minnesota, I explained to you, why did we have violence in Minnesota? I said the violence was the Democrats' fault. You got to watch this channel. You got to subscribe to my channel. I'm only going to give you truth. Why did we have violence in Minnesota? And it's important because Democrats just did the same thing in Virginia. When Tom Homan, who had a good relationship with Minnesota before Trump became president, went to Minnesota under Trump, he asked Minnesota for data. Remember Keith Ellison said, this is about data. This is about data. They want your personal data. Yeah, motherfucker, we do want your data. We went and asked Keith Ellison, give me everyone on Medicaid, Keith. I'm going to have Doge find everybody that you have on Medicaid that's an illegal person and not a citizen. Give me all your welfare, Keith. Give me a list of everybody on Minnesota on welfare, Keith. I'm going to have Doge tell me everybody that you have on welfare who's not a citizen. Give me all your people you got incarcerated, Keith. I'm going to have Doge tell me everybody you have incarcerated who's not a citizen. Then we can easily get 20 to 50,000 yahoos out of Minnesota without a problem. Minnesota said no. The governor of Virginia just said no. The governor of Virginia just said they won't work with ICE. They won't work with federal government. The Democrats and like Minnesota started it and said, we want a warrant. In my video, in my upcoming video, I want you guys to watch. Subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell. Watch the new videos. I'm dropping pre-recorded videos. Hakeem Jeffries, Chuck Schumer say, Minnesota said, Virginia said the deportation order from a deportation judge is not good enough. They want these immigrants to go to a court just like me and you go to. Not an immigration court, not an immigration judge. I have a question, Hakeem. I have a question, Chuck. Who's going to pay for those court visits? And if we have a backup problem in California, in New York, and in Fulton County, you know, where people have to sit on Staten Island for 3 years, Rikers Island for 3 years just to see a judge because you got so many cases backed up. How logistically do we handle 2 million people deported in 2025? Let's say all of those 2 million people had to go to courts in America. wouldn't that disrupt court for me and you, everyday citizens? I don't think the Democrats think the shit out through what they say. Hakeem, so who's going to pay for the court reporter, for the prosecutor, for the judge, for the parking, for the building, for the lights, to process those millions of immigrants to get a fucking court order that they already have from an immigration judge? Who's going to pay for it? And logistically, how do you do it logistically without affecting American citizens who are already waiting years to go to trial? We're in Fulton County. Fannie Willis, I'm going to do a video about that. I want you guys to watch it. Fannie Willis allegedly misappropriated funds to go and do rape kits that have not been done going back years. Fulton County is so backlogged that women are going without justice, but Democrats lie and say they care about victims. You can't even prosecute all these rape cases because you can't do the rape kits because you don't have time. And when you had a special law to get the money, Fannie Willis took some of the money. So I just asked Hakeem, how do you do it if you can't even process rape kits? How do you then process millions of immigrants? This is not being mean. This is a real question. If you don't have enough time and money to process the rape kits in Fulton County as it stands now, how do you get justice to those women and then bring millions of immigrants through the same court?
Sanctuary states typically have other policies that attract illegal settlement and thus burden taxpayers with support of illegal immigrants. Besides funding emergency health care and schooling for all, a number of sanctuary states go farther and choose to provide Medicaid, subsidized health insurance, nutrition assistance, housing, and much more. Illegal immigrants use these welfare programs in large numbers. My organization has found that over 60% of illegal alien-headed households are using at least one form of welfare program, and usually more than one, at a cost of tens of billions of dollars to taxpayers.
60% of immigrant homes.
This is why any resources spent on immigration enforcement actually save taxpayer money in the long run. Sanctuary states typically have other policies that attract illegal settlement and thus burden taxpayers with support of illegal immigrants. Besides funding emergency health care and schooling for all, a number of sanctuary states go farther and choose to provide Medicaid, subsidized health insurance, nutrition assistance, housing, and much more. Illegal immigrants use these welfare programs in large numbers. My organization has found that over 60% of illegal alien-headed households are using at least one form of welfare program, and usually more than one, at a cost of tens of billions of dollars to taxpayers. This is why any resource.
Y'all understand what's going on in the country with this shutdown and the Democrats playing politics with the money? This is what's going on with the DHS shutdown. We got people who's supposed to be helping us losing pay.
And saying, hey, I've got to have a paycheck, so I'm picking up a second job so they can actually get it. We have thousands of people that have been furloughed, work in cybersecurity, which is one of the primary issues with the Iranian regime in the past, has reached out to be able to attack folks, has been on the cyber world on that. We have the vast majority of our cybersecurity folks that are right now on furlough because Democrats are mad at ICE. Literally, Democrats hate ICE enforcement more than they're frustrated with Iran. They don't see Iran as a threat, but they do see ICE as a threat. That is the difference between the two parties, and it could not be more stark. We see that ICE is actually allies of the United States. These are federal agents doing their job to be able to protect the country, and Iran is the threat. They don't see as Iran as a threat. ICE is the threat to them. Actually happening, Democrats are blocking funding for the Department of Homeland Security. They're not paying people. That is causing folks to call in and saying, hey, I've got to have a paycheck, so I'm picking up a second job so they can actually get it. We have thousands of people that have been furloughed, work in cybersecurity, which is one of the primary issues with the Iranian regime in the past, has reached out to be able to attack folks, has been on the cyber world on that. We have the vast majority of our cybersecurity folks that are right now on furlough because Democrats are mad at ICE. Literally, Democrats hate ICE enforcement more than they're frustrated with Iran. They don't see Iran as a threat, but they do see ICE as a threat. That is the difference between the two parties, and it could not be more stark. We see that ICE is actually allies of the United States. These are federal agents doing their job to be able to protect the country, and Iran is the threat. They don't see as Iran as a threat. ICE is the threat to them. Actually happening, Democrats are blocking.
Oh, that's my baby. That's my baby. Chuck Schumer slammed the Obama-Iran deal in 2015.
We should not go forward with this agreement. This evil regime has stayed in power without even a slight threat to their being overthrown. The odds to me are too high that they will stay that way. And if they do stay that way, I believe that this agreement is too flawed and too dangerous for us. We should not go forward with this agreement. This evil regime has stayed in power without even a slight threat to their being overthrown. The odds to me are too high that they will stay that way. And if they do stay that way, I believe that this agreement is too flawed and too dangerous for us. We should not go forward with this agreement.
People change, seasons change. I recall when the Democrats used to feel the same. Seasons change, people change. I recall when the Dems felt the same. Seasons change, people change. California, high alert. California, high alert.
Just coming in of a warning to law enforcement in California from the FBI.
Seasons change, people change.
So new reporting just coming in of a warning to law enforcement in California from the FBI that Iran could retaliate against U.S. strikes by launching drones at the West Coast. This is coming from ABC News reporting. National correspondent Matt Finn joining us live from our LA bureau. Hi, Matt.
Hey, Martha. So there is this ABC report that the FBI has warned police departments here in California that Iran could launch a drone attack somewhere on the West Coast, possibly targeting California. This drone attack could, potentially come from an unidentified vessel. Well, I've talked to some LAPD sources who say so far LAPD has not been made aware of any credible drone threats here in Los Angeles. One LAPD source tells Fox News that there has not been any change in the department's posture in relation to any possible drone threat. The FBI is not commenting on the report about a possible drone threat either. Now, Fox News inquired with Governor Newsom's office, who did give us this statement that reads, the Governor's Office of Emergencies.
My podcast. I'm about to get off right now, so we can go hang out. Yes. All right. Say good night to the people.
Good night.
Good night. Good night, everybody. Gotta say goodbye. Doom, 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 doom. Doom, 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 doom.
Yeah, my YouTube hat.
My YouTube channel. It's my YouTube channel right here.
No, I'd say you have a YouTube hat.
Oh, my hat. Yeah, I got my YouTube hat. I got a YouTube hat back there on and a YouTube shirt. YouTube gave me that hat and they gave me that shirt. I won it in the competition. Shout out to YouTube. Shout out to my YouTube team. Thank you for all your help. It's my dream. I do it every day.
Wait, it was your dream?
It's my dream.
Wait. It's really your dream?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. All right. You want to say goodbye?
Bye.
They can't see you. Okay. Good night, everybody. Goodbye, too. Y'all have a good night. God bless America. God bless the president. God bless America. God bless the president. Hey, thank you to Bridge for gifting those 10 memberships. Thank you for gifting those 10 memberships. That's a big love. I love you for that. God bless America. God bless President Trump. Thank you, and bless everybody in the chat who participated. Thank you to all my new subscribers. Thank you to John for the super chat. Thank you to Frank for the commentary. A lot of thank yous tonight. Thank you. God bless you guys. I pray that the chat was a blessing. Prayer covering over all of you guys. Safe passage home to your families. Every day at 1 p.m. at 1:30 p.m. 1:30. Maybe 1 p.m. tomorrow. Hit the notification bell. See you guys tomorrow.